Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. It's going to get deep. Let's get started.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearl. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world.
Sing it with
You
me.
can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul through the fight and
Get
flame.
it.
My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's go. I am your
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
ready. Let's go.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is April 11th, 2026. It is currently 6:09 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, my beautiful pearls. Good to see you, everyone, as y'all are rolling in here. Tonight, we are talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, and it just keeps going. Do you guys think this is the perfect crime of 2026? I don't know. You just don't think there could be a perfect crime. Um, I don't know if it's the perfect crime or the perfect set of elements that has happened here with the sheriff virtually doing squat the first, in my opinion, 3 weeks with the FBI and all of that. But we're going to get to all of that, getting in some deep stuff tonight. I've got a presentation I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to go over some stuff. Let me say hello to a few. Hey, Sly, finally able to catch a live. Hello, all. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome. Clad, good to see you. Cover up, in my opinion. You're not the only one that thinks that, Clad. Grace, hello, darling. Green eyes, bonjour. Miss Robin, hello, Miss Queen. I hate to say it, but I grew suspicious of SG involvement or knowledge after the fact when I saw her interview. See. It's not for me. It's not suspicious of Savannah. I think she might be being used. I think she might be being used, and she doesn't even realize it. Hey, Crystal Pistol. I'm so dumbfounded with this case. I know it's quite crazy, isn't it? Robin, good to see you, my dear. Happened in the wrong town, in my opinion. Yes, Tina, good to see you, my friend. Carol, that's it. Justin, it's crazy, isn't it? Debbie, good to see you, my friend. Piece of Jesus to all. Hello. Grace, Miss Cindy, good afternoon. Hello. Robin, good to see you. Joanne, good to see you. Hi, Justin. Been a while since the last time I've seen you at Summer's Case. Hopefully you are doing well. Thank you so much, Joanne. I'm doing better. That's for sure. Thank God for antibiotics. That's all I've got to say. Every day's better and better. So much better than I was feeling. Thank you. Cool Scavenger. Good to see you, my friend. Round, good to see you, my friend. Got correct. Non-mobile stream, I think. Hello, all. Hey, Mish, good to see you. This case would have been closed if it weren't for Nanos. I think we would have been a lot further along. Just think about just the fact of the labs. You know what I mean? He's got them strewn around. Again, he's got them at great labs. Nobody's arguing that. But why? Whenever they could go to the FBI. Hey, Tanya, good to see you. Robin, good to see you, my friend. Roberta, hello. I am feeling much better. Thank you for asking. J Coco, good to see you, my friend. Thank you. I am Miss Eureka making mac and cheese. Yummy. Hey, Carol, good to see you. D White, Miss Eureka, good to see you. Sharon, hello. Let's see here. Miss Queen, hello, darling. Not Lob, good to see you. The timing is perfect, so I could get some supper and a drink. So I listened to your opening. Awesome. Thank you. Good to see you, my friend. Mimi, the crime is a real mess. Yeah, yeah. Good to see everyone. If you would do me a big favor, please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate that. It really helps. Or double tap that screen if you're on the mobile, just twice. If you do it 3 times, it'll unlike it. Also, if you would be so kind in sharing this live out on any of your favorite social media, just hit that share button, copy that link, and drop it in any of your favorite social media. Also, if you would hype this live, consider hyping the live. You get 3 hypes a week after the live stream. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it's absolutely free. It's like a super thumbs up, and it helps boost the video, and the algorithm really makes a big difference. So thank you all so much for being here. Hey, Jude, thank you so much, my friend. You helped me. Thank you so much. Peace stuff. Thank you so much, beautiful Judy Jude. Really appreciate you. If you received that, make sure. Oh, you know something? I've got some that I need to give out to. 1 second. I just thought of that. I can give 5. Here we go. There we go. We give 5 more. So we got Sergeant, Big North Marty, Montana, Dara, good to see you, and Gianna, good to see you. Welcome to the Pearl family. Yay, welcome. Okay, Sassy, I got you. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I just got your email. What is this? Allegedly, someone had a tip saying that they know who the Nancy Guthrie perp is, and today the feds contacted them back and asked them to meet up, and they did. 3 people involved, if what they are saying is true. This is on JLR. Sassy just sent this to me. It's actually on X. Someone, again, I can't verify this or anything. I'm just showing you what Sassy sent me right here.
Person who gave me the tip is named Gax, Gaxx, and that person was called by the FBI today. We went to the FBI office, so they seriously wanted to talk to this.
Okay, so I got his photo right here. That's shared. You're saying this guy? Oops, sorry.
Hold on. Remember, I'm the one. I don't mind putting people's names out there. If they want to sue me, they can sue me.
So who is this guy?
The tip said that he fits the porch guy, right?
What?
And the connections with him is this is the story behind that there's 3 people. There's him. Hopefully I remember all these right. One is, I think, maybe a stepfather or father-in-law, and then another guy who lives in New Mexico. But Anthony and this, not Nicholas, Dennis. Okay, so there's Anthony and Dennis. They both live in Tucson. The third person, the weakest link, who this person also thinks is writing the dummy letters, not the demand letters. It lives in New Mexico. His name is Nicholas. But they're all linked back to that Anthony Sanchez. And the link was the older gentleman that I'm telling you about, Dennis. He went to school with Savannah. He went to U of A. He went to school with Savannah and Annie. So
the feds went to this guy? You know that for a fact?
Well, no. This person has been trying to submit this tip in for weeks, and they never contacted her. So
I'll just be honest with you. I'm usually very doubtable about things like this.
I'm not saying it's because
what's he been arrested for?
What's he been?
This is a mugshot.
This is fresh right here. So
this is a mugshot.
Hey, little red.
He's a meth addict that we know of. I'll throw all that out there. I don't care what anybody. People are like, wait, you can't do that. Well, I just did. Well, so that's him. But Trinidad Anthony Sanchez. So hopefully feds are going to be talking to him, because I was waiting outside the FBI's Tucson station for a good half hour at least.
You were?
Yeah, because I went with Gax to go, because they called them. So while we were leaving to go do some looking, some searching, FBI called this person, and they said if they could meet up. So we went to downtown, and
I don't know. I'm usually pretty. I usually don't. Yeah, I agree, Mimi. I'm kind of hesitant on things like this, but again, you never know.
This person went inside and was in there for a half hour, came back out.
To me, a half an hour is not enough.
And they just wanted all that information, and they took her seriously for once, because Pima County sheriffs, nobody ever took her serious, and so him, her, them, how it is.
Oh, you're gonna have to keep me informed of that one. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, it is a little confusing. I agree with JLR on that. yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant on things like that, but I would say, in my opinion, if I was going to submit a tip and it was a legitimate tip, I would call the FBI, not Pima County. That's just me, though. Oh my goodness, thank you, Miss Rue. How you doing, darling? Good to see you. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate it. Happy Saturday, Pearls. Glad you are well, Justin. Thank you so much, Miss Rue. So good to see you, my friend. Really do appreciate that. Very kind of you, and thank you for your well wishes as well, my friend. Good to see you. You know, thank you again, babe. Really appreciate you. There's just a lot of people out there that they're interested in true crime, and they'll think that, because this is a little weird or that's a little weird, that this person must be involved or whatever. Um, and we're going to kind of go through. It's very interesting that was sent to me, um, because this is a lot more complicated than uh, just throwing names out there. Of course, we all have our opinions, and if it's legit, uh, they listen to her, and that's all we can expect, right? IMD, thank you so much. Hi, Justin. Is this your current line available? I went to the wrong one. You just started. Yes, just starting, my dear. Um, if your name's Anthony and you live in Tucson, you might be getting your door kicked. What is, hold on, let me find where's my button? Where is it? FBI, open up! There we go. That would be scarier. This case is getting nuttier every day. It really is. It really is. And got a little presentation here that I want to show you before we get into the things tonight, so to speak. Of course, this is the Nancy Guthrie case that we're on nearly day 70, and she disappeared anywhere from uh, perhaps January 31st to February 1st. She's 84 years old. Current official status missing, believing to be taken against her will. FBI and Pima County Sheriff Department is obviously investigating. Now, Nancy Guthrie, she was last seen in the Catalina Hills. We're getting ready to get into the weeds of this in just a second. But on January 31st, she is considered a vulnerable adult and difficulty walking. She has a pacemaker. She needs daily medications for her heart condition. The FBI says an armed male appeared to tamper with the front door camera. Okay. And this is the photo of said armed male that tampered with this, right? The FBI has not put out a lot about this guy, and I wish they would do more. I've screamed this on the top of my lungs for weeks. The only thing we know is he's about approximately 5'9" to 5'10", average build, wearing a black Ozark Trail hiker backpack, maybe Ozark Trail shoes as well, something perhaps similar. Don't, take that to the bank, that part though. But by April 1st, 2026, investigators still have not announced a suspect, a motive, or an arrest. I made this the other day, so now it's the 11th. I should have changed that. But investigators are still reviewing forensic evidence, all of that stuff, right? And the only person that has been arrested and charged with anything I is a guy named Derek, who he was or charged on February 5th over the ransom demand transmission tied to the case. That doesn't mean that he's involved or anything. He's a weird one, though, to say the very least. Um, he's the only one that's like, now they've knocked other people's doors down. They've held people and interviewed them and did forensics and all that. But crimes against older adults are more often exploitation right, than someone just coming in to abduct an 84-year-old woman. When older adults are targeted, it is often through financial fraud, scams, neglect, caregiver abuse, family abuse. It's usually not some masked intruder, right? Coming to remove an 84-year-old woman in the early hours of the morning, right? Um, Elderly people are just normally financially abused. They're not killed, which, let's be honest with you, most likely Nancy was. I don't think if Nancy made it out of that house alive, I don't think it was very much longer she was alive. I'll say that. Um, and we can, the supporting argument you could make with that is A, she hasn't been seen or heard from. These ransom letters, that one or two of them that could be real, noted that she's alive, and then it said that she wasn't alive in the other things, right? So, what are the main types of crime would be a motive for this, right? And there's really only a few, and one is jealousy, greed, fear, revenge, desperation, or pride. That's really all I can think of. That's really it in this situation. Someone could be greedy uh, over something they wanted or felt like they were entitled to. They could be fearful that someone uh, took. They could be fearful that someone that Nancy knows something that they don't want out. They could be jealous that, well, this person got this, or and I didn't get this, or whatever. It could be something like that. Revenge. They felt wronged, whatever. They could be in a desperate situation, financial distress, felt like this was the only way for whatever reason, or just pride, which I I don't know if if any of those are it, but I would say certainly one of them is right. Um, what's I'm trying to think of his name. What was the Sherlock Holmes? He says, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth, right? And you look at this case, and it's so rare for something like this to happen. It's so rare that you have these cameras that are either not recording, and we're going to kind of get into some of that here shortly. I have no idea if she changed her will. There's rumors and stuff, but there's been so much, one thing, and this is another thing about the case. We have usually reporting lines up. I've made this time and time again. Usually, all of our reporting through sources or whatever, it'll all kind of at least be in a general direction of where the case is going, where it's pointed. In this case, it's not like that, right? It's not like that. Um, it is truly everywhere, truly everywhere. Hey, Jen. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my love. Good to see you, Miss Jen. Really appreciate you. Maybe they wanted her land. She wouldn't sign papers, in my opinion. This is the thing, though. We people talk about like, well, maybe they wanted her house or whatever, but unless there is some sort of special part in the will saying should she be incapacitated or uh, not know where she's at for a certain amount of time, uh, then it can go to family members or whatever. Other than that, it takes a long time to declare someone dead, right? So that's not an instant gratification for instance, a family member, right? I mean, people unalive people all the time for financial reasons. It's one of the main reasons, but w- it, it just doesn't sit right with me unless there is a special uh, clause in her will or whatever. I'm not, really sure. Hey, Work, good to see you. Um, hey, Pebbles. So, yeah, we can reconstruct the sequence of events, which is very important. However, there is so much left out, right? Follow the physical evidence. We have some physical evidence that we are aware of. The blood on the floor on the outside of the porch, allegedly reportedly blood on the inside, camera ripped off. Um, there was a light ripped off in the back and all that, right? So we got to ask ourselves, if we like reconstruct the timeline, what happened first, second, third, the sequence. If the sequence does not make sense, somebody is hiding something, and we got to ask what the motive is, right? And the human nature, for instance, this guy that is this perpetrator, is he there by himself? Is he acting alone? He doesn't seem to be in a big hurry. Whoever, they clearly weren't in a hurry, because if they were there minimum of like 40 some minutes, right? But what makes people like this do a crime again is fear, greed, jealousy, revenge, shame, pride, desperation. Now, like I've spoken about ad nauseum, who would want Nancy dead so quickly, right? And for them to do this to an 84-year-old woman, again, she could live 10 more years, she could live 20 more years, but statistically, she would be dead in a year anyway. Statistically, average life is 78. She's 84. Can't get around very well. Her health is declining. Pacemaker, all of that. What one of these was it fear of something that they had to take Nancy out? Was it greed that they had to take Nancy out? Was it jealousy that they had to take Nancy out? Revenge, shame, pride, or were they desperate? Right? And those whatever it is, that leads into the motive, right? Um, let's say they felt revengeful, um, that Nancy, they felt like they was wrong. Nancy did something to this person. Well, that would be the motive. That would be the revenge, right? Or financially desperate for whatever reason. Well, that is what would bring the motive. Following the case, and yes, finger points to the family door cam guy wasn't alone. I think 3 people involved February 1st. I think you could be right. We don't know. Just don't know. Contradictions. We're going to get into some of those contradictions here in a moment. If a person's story and the evidence clash, right? That truly matters. Contradictions are often where the truth starts to leak out. And you got to find those little gaps of those contradictions. Now, really, the only story that we have is that Nancy went with went to a family member's house via I can never think of the name. I'll just call it a taxi. I'll think of it in a second. Uber. I can never think of Uber. I don't know why, but she went with the Uber. She allegedly stayed a few hours, and she is brought back by her son-in-law, right? So there should be at least 2 people that saw her that evening. One being Annie, the other being Tommaso. If there was kids around, or anyone else, they should have as well. Now, technically, Tommaso is the last person uh, to have seen her that we are aware of, and that's important, right? We have the 2 minutes of the garage doors opening and closing, and then he supposedly backs out and leaves. And a lot of people thinks that's very strange as well, right? One of the questions about whoever this suspect is right here, could he physically do it alone? Yeah, he could. He could physically do it alone. This guy, in my opinion, looks like he's in his probably his 30s, and a very physically fit guy. He could do it alone. Did he do it alone? I don't think so. Um, I regardless of whether it was just this guy who was physically there that night, I don't feel like this person did this all alone. Whether he was hired to do it, or you know someone put him up to do it. Uh, I feel like there's more. Some people think you owe them. Yeah. hmm That's right. Barbara, good to see you. Does anyone know how big Nancy's wealth was? The house alone should be around 1 million. Um, from what I understand, Nancy was worth around like 2 to 4 million. I am Passion Flower. Thank you so much, honey. Um, everyone in the family is, from my research, is uh, a millionaire, except for my research allegedly is that except Tommaso and Annie. But I don't know. Wonder if family paid her. I don't know. The house should be a crime scene, and no one should be taking anything out, not even a paperclip. I agree. I agree. Right? So, what's the motive? Why would they do this? Right? Oops, hold on. You okay, bro? Sorry, Pearl was sneezing. Okay. So why would they do this, right? Do they have the capability? Did they have the means? Did they have the nerve, the knowledge, the access, or the timing, right? Kind of like motive means opportunity. And who had to take her? Yes, yeah. Because I mean, regardless, this to do this to someone, it requires a lot of hate. I mean, think about that. This wasn't enough to just go rob her, right? Or take whatever in the house. Because think about this. These people, this person or these people knew the inside of her house, right? They were looking at this days, weeks prior. It wasn't enough for them to just go while she's not home or even while she is. You okay, baby? That's you. Are you doing that? You're doing, I think she's doing that just to be silly. So I think that they didn't do this just while they were you know, just to take her stuff. They, whatever the reason was, they wanted her unalived. And that takes a lot of nerve, right? A lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of, I would rather have you no longer on the planet than being here. Right? Yeah, Sue. Yeah. So okay. All right. So let me go on to some of this stuff. So the last people that she was around, and I didn't add this. I should have added the Uber driver as well, but it was Tommaso, Annie, this Uber driver, which I don't think the Uber driver has everything on camera. From what I understand, there was a 360 camera, from what I understand, in the Uber car. They say that he dropped Nancy off at 9:45. But that is not technically a fact, right? It is not necessarily a fact that Nancy was dropped off at 9:45 that we're aware of. That is what we are being told by the family. Now, there is it is a fact that the garage door was open and closed for 2 minutes, but it's not a fact that Nancy got out of the car and went in her house. It's very likely that she did, but we don't have photos or videos of her getting in the car, do we? At all. Guys, if you're just joining us, please hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate you all being here. This is Drop Dead Serious, Ashley Banfield and Harvey from TMZ. Listen to this.
And when you look at it, it's like the perfect crime that I didn't think that existed anymore, but that you can kidnap somebody from a residential area where there are cameras that people have in their homes, and yet you can't find the car. And that you've got these emails and you can't trace the emails, and you got these Bitcoin addresses. And I can tell you that the FBI did something with that Bitcoin address from the kidnapper, and they actually did something, came up dry there. And I just never thought of the perfect crime being something like this.
Is this the perfect crime? Or is this this guy really lucky from Sheriff Doofy,
where
in the beginning is very, very important.
or somehow you could evade everyone. Now, there were clearly mistakes made, especially by the sheriff. Nonetheless, the FBI came in and they got nothing. And in 2026,
Hard to
it
believe.
is really stunning.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all of the opportunities for the regular forensics to work, right? A guy's got a bite light in his mouth, which he had to put in and take out, maybe with those gloved fingers, and touch something. Door handles to get in, the actual bracket behind the camera, which he's messing with. There's all sorts of opportunities to find that, right? There's a vehicle that he had to have conveyed Nancy
Right.
in. He can't take her on a bike or a moped.
Right.
Okay. Again, where is this fucking vehicle? Where's it at? Now, there has been some vehicles that we have heard about, seen with our own eyes, that FBI Pima County has looked at, right? And one is Annie and Tommaso's Honda that they kept longer than anybody. They said they were putting something, back together. Okay. Even though they did say it was part of evidence. There is Mr. Daly's Range Rover. There is Carlos's vehicle, and I think it was a white delivery van that he used as well. But that's all that we know of, that I'm aware of, unless something in the comments that I'm not mentioning. That's all the vehicles. They said that they were having a hard time finding a vehicle. Hey, Bo, good to see you.
Then there's the digital trail, and none of this is working.
It's crazy. We cover so many cases, as do you, where, people make mistakes, they get spotted, and he just disappeared.
Yeah, vanished. And as did she.
This is 2026. And when you look at it, it's like the perfect crime that I didn't think that existed anymore, but that
I don't think it's the perfect crime, but I think there might be some luck involved in this, if you ask me. So let's look at some questions here. Right? So why did investigators widen the relative view window, if you will, beyond the immediate disappearance? Remember, we know that the 11th is important, right? Did they widen it just because of the neighbor's camera and the dog? Did they widen it because the other neighbor saw this strange man outside? Is that the only reason they widened this? Or did they widen it for other reasons that we are not being told? Hey, Miss Dolores. Thank you, darling. I pray for Nancy, Justin. I know, baby. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Miss Dolores. I think Nancy is fine now. I think she's with their Heavenly Father. I truly believe that. But what she went through and how she was wronged is really tragic, that the way this happened. You know what I mean? So thank you so much, Miss Tina. Appreciate you. What about the alleged car that transported Nancy out of her home? Can they not do tire tread analysis? I mean, I guess they could if they have tire tread analysis, right, Tina? But they got to have that. If this was like a muddy area, but this is Tucson, and it's kind of gravelly, so it doesn't really leave that much tire impressions there. It's hard to get like a detailed tire impression with rock that size. It makes it way much more complicated. Justin, what both A and T teach classes can be something of interest, and I wonder if FBA is looking at this. Yeah, he teaches. I can't remember what did he teach. I'll think of it in a second. But yeah, something like the perp knew her and felt comfortable in Nancy's home of being in there for 40 minutes. Absolutely. So was the camera tampering a prelude to entry, right? A response to something already happening, or a cleanup. So this guy, reports are not 100% a fact, but the reports are he came the 11th. And to me, that really lines up. He messed with the camera allegedly on the 11th, right? And didn't take the camera, but didn't mess with any other cameras on the property. More importantly, on the inside of the home, right? And that's, yes, he teaches biology. Yes, thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, so very, very interesting. Okay, so I want to go to this right here, and there's a lot more questions here. Oh, let me show you this real quick. I wanted to show this little thing to get this out of the way real quick and show you this. Look at this. This was someone says, I was born and raised in Phoenix, but now live in Houston, Texas. We have been following this case since day one, and today, while at a restaurant, we can see this.
Oh, there she is.
There she is, right there. That much.
Nancy Guthrie.
Well, try layers.
So this is Houston. We all know where Houston is, right? In South Texas, and they have billboards of Nancy, which we did know that they were, doing this in Texas and stuff. But to me, it's like they're looking, particularly like in Texas, maybe California, Nevada, New Mexico, those areas as well. And it's always been interesting to me. All right, now let's go to the Uber driver. I have spoken about this as well, but someone writes it probably more eloquent than I can say it right here. And I've made this point as well, but Mindy on Facebook says, looking at Nancy's house, where you would where would the Uber driver pick her up, right? You would think right out in front of the home. I agree with her. I would think that if you were an Uber driver, you would normally just go to someone's front door. You would, pull in here, and you probably pull up to the sidewalk. Because that is probably the easiest way for Nancy to get out. And that just seems to be the way, if someone was picking up Nancy with an Uber, that they would pick her up. And she writes, which makes me believe she left through the front door when she was going to Annie's that night. That would be the shortest walking distance. The Uber had a camera that allegedly had a 360-degree view, right? Like can view all the way around, which views and riders getting in and out of the car as well. I wonder if the Uber driver was able to see if she paused to lock the front door, or did he pick her up down at the garage. I would want to see patterns and behaviors. And I think I absolutely agree. I think that is imperative to see Nancy the night she got in that Uber and the night she got out of that Uber. When she because it was only a one way, right? So she would have got in the Uber here. And I also don't think Nancy would be, I don't think she would be standing outside either. You know what I mean? Like, some people, they might stand outside waiting for an Uber or whatever. But Nancy, she doesn't have the strength to do that or whatever. You can watch it on your app to see when they're getting close or whatever. But Nancy, I think she would probably sit inside and wait until the Uber was there. And she would, I'm sure, lock or close the door and then get in the car. And then they would drive her to Annie's house. But she would have to get out of that vehicle, right? And how long would it have taken her to get out of that vehicle? She writes, now I think if Tommaso was driving her home at night, he'd drop her off at the front if he wasn't walking her in. Wouldn't he also want to use the circular driveway to avoid backing out of the garage driveway? I've made this point as well. Let's say Tommaso, comes in here. Is he going to just go pull up right here and let her out where the garage is? He's going to have to, it's kind of a weird way to, either back out. I guess you could back out over here and then go straight out. I don't know, but he, one or the other. Now, we do know, though, that the door opened at 9:50. I can't remember. It was a 2-minute, I think it was 9:48 to 9:50, if I recall correctly. So if he did drop her off at this time, it doesn't, how can I say this? I really want to see it would be really interesting to see if they had any other footage of Nancy getting out of that car that night. Or could this be, just doing it for, as a ruse, if you will, I guess. Maybe not, though. Maybe she used the garage for better lighting, but why not release the Uber video and the video of Tommaso dropping her off? Well, I mean, how do we know? And the video of Tommaso dropping her off. I don't know if we have video of Tommaso dropping her off. Do we? Maybe there's other clues. Now, maybe the door video would show Tommaso's car passing, right? It just depends on the sensitivity levels that she would have it. But it's really weird, very weird. None of this, in my opinion, was a coincidence. I think it's, I agree. I think it's very interesting that the night she goes over to dinner, again, on a weekend, that she takes an Uber over there. She stays a little bit, and then she is driven back by one person. There is this two minute garage door. He doesn't walk her in. And if you look at the other videos of the 11th and all of that, it's on a weekend. And it's always on like a Saturday night, if you will, into the very, very early hours of Sunday morning. I think that's pretty interesting. I don't think that is a coincidence, if you ask me. Now, again, I showed this yesterday, but whatever Tommaso's doing right here, he is certainly on a mission. I also believe the timeline is off based on Savannah's interview. Savannah stated that she was called in at night. How was called in the night? How if Annie was called during the day? Yep. I think we talked about that. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. Okay. Moving on here. I want to go. Oops, what'd I do? Okay. I want to go to this. Guys, if you're just joining us, please hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate all of you guys being here. I'm going to go to Brian Inton. Also, do you guys remember Sheriff Nanos recently saying that the problem is with Nanos is you just can't believe a damn thing that he says. Something may have happened weeks prior to Nancy going missing. Y'all remember that? Very, very weird. I want to go to Brian Inton on this. I want to show. He does walk like he's real mad. I mean, to me, Tommaso, walking there like he's real mad versus whoever this guy is, right? When he's walking up, he doesn't seem that aggressive. The way Tommaso was walking right there, he was walking pretty aggressive like. Doesn't mean anything, but just the typical behavior of this person who's allegedly the suspect, he's not walking very aggressive. Like, this is the way I would expect the perpetrator to be walking up to the door right here. Like something like this, right? In a hurry, moving around, not casually, down like this. Yeah, we're going to finish part of that in just a minute, Miss Holly. So I want to go to Brian Inton here on something. This is the Mine Hunter profiler on Nancy Guthrie's abduction, motive, and why retribution could be a factor. This was day 69. Guys, make sure you sub up to our friend Brian Inton. I'm going to drop the link. Link will be provided in the description as well. I want to talk about something before we move on. Just a little part of this right here.
Doing.
Yeah, it's fascinating. With the Nancy Guthrie case, it's been more than 2 months now. I was on the ground in Tucson for, almost 50 days total covering it. And I thought surely in a couple of weeks, there'll be some kind of resolution to this. And from the sources that I have on the inside, there's not a suspect. I don't think there's any good leads right now. I mean, I don't think I call it a cold case because they're still working it really hard. Are you surprised it's taking this long?
That's a good question.
Well,
I kind of was with you. I thought this would be wrapped up, that this was a kidnapping and this would be wrapped up fairly quickly. But as you get into
This
it
is
now,
Sue. I think her
as
name's
you know,
Sue.
we're pretty handicapped with the kind, we don't have a lot of information that we can use. Normally would have a lot more information. We have almost zero information. But I think the other thing that complicates this case is that the DNA, that evidently they have some little bit, but it's going to be very hard to separate out the DNA from family members or other who's known and so forth. So I think they really, they're at a hard place right now, unless the only thing that makes me think you could break open this case is if indeed there are more than one person involved in this, whether it be because of setting it up
Okay.
or because.
So I'm going to do a poll in chat. Do you think how many people involved? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Do you think how many people's involved in this? 1, put a 1 in chat. 2, put a 2 in chat. 3, put a 3 in chat. 4 or more, put a 4 in chat, and it will automatically go to this poll. Now, when we say involved, I don't mean necessarily how many people was there that night. It could be, this person may not be the only person involved. There could be people behind it, if you will. But, generally the more people, the easier it is to get something, right? Because each of them have a trail of, knows or is involved. Yeah. So, I think a majority, a little over half, thinks that it's 3. I'd say 3. Interesting. Okay, just curious on that. All right, here we go.
Of trying to kidnap her, et cetera, et cetera. If there's multiple offenders, you can sometimes get them to break. Each one will break on the other. So that's the only thing. This is a tough case. You just don't have enough. As you said, even if you had inside information, you still don't have enough because there's just no. There is some information, I think, with nothing missing. That's the other thing is, how do you have a kidnapping? Well, you could have a kidnapping with just the person, of course. You have that in children, but it's very rare in elders. And even you go online, the amount of elders that are missing is very small. And if it is, they're missing for other reasons, not because of a kidnapping. So all of those things you.
Exactly. No, this just doesn't happen to elders this way. I don't think anybody will rat on anybody. I don't either, because with a $1.275 million, which is life-changing for most of us, have
against you
not said
in terms
anything,
of trying to even come up with a profile, because it's such a small population that would ever abduct an elder. So no evidence. That's and the mixed DNA. I think that's what's really hard.
When you were working with the profiling unit, do they have enough to come up with something at this point, just based on what happened? But there's that photo from the front camera. Is there something more that they could be releasing to the public that would help with tips and sort of help narrow down the search?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I've been on a few other blogs way back when this first came out, and I always wanted to know, how did they get in? That's one of your first questions. Somebody had to have gotten in. There's no forced entry. There's nothing. So that could have helped an awful lot if you could have. I mean,
It's after the live stream
we
or
have to
two.
just speculate that it was someone that either watched when this garage door went up, or had been in there when she had gone out and was hiding there. I mean, all of those scenarios.
So again, this person, right? This person right here. You remember the neighbor with the 2 cameras that wasn't working, and the dog barking on the 11th, and the night Nancy went missing? They saw a car down below Nancy's house that evening whenever they were walking their dog. There was nobody in it. It's kind of this little pull-off spot down below Nancy's house, maybe 2 or 3 houses down. That person, if they are involved, if that car is involved, which again, I wish, Brian, if you're watching this, will you please ask that guy if they recall what kind of vehicle it was? I would really, if they'll put that out. Was it a car, an SUV, a truck? I thought that would be interesting to know. But think about this. If that vehicle was involved, they were there while Nancy was at Annie and Tommaso's house. That's pretty weird, if you ask me. That's pretty weird. Hey, baby kiss, it's good to see you, babe. I believe it was family all the way, though, from the very beginning, and it's someone closer than you'd think. The last person to see her. Animals are so smart, they really are. I think it was a white van. I have not heard.
I've seen. I've actually had cases where that's happened, but you just have to say these are possibilities. And why would they? I think motive is important. I don't mean motive in terms of, yes, they tried to get her out. Of course, that we see that. But what is behind what's the real motive? Is this something against her, a 84-year-old woman, or is this against somebody?
I mean, this is the thing. I've heard people say this. We go on the assumption that Nancy was a nice, sweet old lady, but maybe she wasn't. What if she was very difficult, demanding, outspoken, pain in the butt? We have no idea if someone hated her. You're right. You're absolutely right. However, you can be, the biggest old witch on the planet. Nobody deserves this, right? Nobody. And let's make it clear, Nancy was very outspoken in like her politics and all of that, which hey, it's a free country. Speak it, whatever you want, right? But and I have just a personal thing that, like, I don't ever speak ill on the dead, or someone like sick or anything like that, even if I thought they weren't a really good person or whatever. I just won't speak negatively on them. But one thing that when someone dies or whatever, they everyone always says, oh, well, they light up a room, that kind of thing. They were the best person. We're all human, at the end of the day. We're none of us are without flaws. We all have things we shouldn't have done or wished we hadn't have done. You don't get by of 84 years and not have enemies. You just don't. None of us do. So I agree with that to an extent, and but regardless, just nobody. It's just a very sad thing, being alone, 84 years old, and being taken out like this in the middle of the night. That's very scary. You know what I mean? It's very scary. That's all.
Else within the family. We do know that can be in other cases. I think what you're asking is how many other cases have we seen in which we were able to develop a profile, and then you work your legacy cases against what you have current. That's always been my way of working these cases.
So is there something more they could be releasing at this point based on a profile?
Oh, I do. I think they could release something about entry. That's
Exactly.
why you can't have this without having somebody getting into the house, right? I mean, we all agree. And then they leave by a different exit. I think that's
they either, it seems like they came through the back. That to me seems like the most plausible, coming through the back. And but we got to remember, they came in. To me, people's like, well, why didn't they go out the same way that they came in? And I've heard nobody mention this, but to me, it's pretty obvious. They come in the back because they don't have Nancy with them at the time, and they are probably trying to be quiet, not trying to be maybe seen as much. But the goal here, in my opinion, was Nancy. And when they collected Nancy, whether that be alive, dead, or on her way out, they are taking her with the path of least resistance. Because if you are carrying someone, or you have an 84-year-old woman who is not very mobile, you still have to move her, or she has to move herself, and she can't move herself very well. So regardless, they took her out a different way because it was easier. It was, in my opinion, easier for them to get through the back way when they got in the house, but it was easier for them to leave with Nancy in the front door. Does that make sense? So I think that's why in this case there was two doors, one entry and one exit. I think that's why, because the goal was Nancy, and because of Nancy's circumstances of her not being mobile, or she's being carried, they're going to either make it easier on Nancy, or they're going to make it easier on herself, on her, to get her out of that house. Right? So is it odd that there's, two different entrances, like an exit? Yeah, but I also think with Nancy's circumstances, it's different. It's different because she's not mobile. And this would be the easiest way to either get her out or carry her out of that front door. Now, why the back doors were propped open or whatever, that's a whole nother subject. That's weird.
Important. I did learn in one case where she also had another way out. There was a sliding door. You probably know this, to a little kind of enclosed area that she would go out to and read or write in her journal. And if she was writing in her journal, that would be wonderful to be able to get access to that. I don't see why that would compromise anything. So to answer your question, I think there are other small bits of evidence.
You know something, Miss Blue Rose, that's very interesting. I do remember seeing that. I would love to know more sources on that. wasn't it said earlier in the case that the reason Nancy took an Uber was because Tommaso wasn't home? So maybe once Nancy got to Annie's, Tommaso was waiting around or else to let a person in. Hey, Little Texas, good to see you. I don't know if that's true. I do remember hearing that in the beginning, but again, just hearing that, where did that come from? You know what I mean? Where did that come from? If that is true, to me that would be very, very interesting. That had band practice, Robin. That's very interesting. Hey, Sheila, much better, darling. Thank you so much. Right. And that's very interesting. If, again, the problem is there's just been so much said. But if he wasn't home at that time, again, doesn't mean necessarily anything. It's just circumstances that you take a note and be like, oh, well, that's interesting. He wasn't home.
Evidence that could be released that people could then have more to be able to, again, hypothesize on or to speculate. I think they could.
I agree. Bana, I agree. I don't think, in my opinion, I think they were close, but they weren't as picturesque as it seems, because I think Tommaso would have walked her in if he was more.
They could let more out.
Based on what you know that's public, what is your theory? I mean, do you think this was a kidnapping?
Oh, I think something went very wrong inside the house, and that either she wasn't alive when something happened, because there was blood.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have released that, and that there was blood also outside. So it isn't that something could have happened, but not have caused her demise. But because she at least gets out. So you've got some droplets. Again, we don't even know how much you have to analyze. And then why does it stop? Where does it go? Those kinds of things. Does it go into a car? Does it follow a path? Does it, those kinds of things? It's just like it vanishes. She just vanishes. And so could they let a little bit more out? Yes, I think that they should, as this case has continued, as you said, for over 2 months. That's it's not a long time in terms of a kidnapping. We know that it can take a long time, but we only have cases usually of children is taken for ransom is what we go by, but
your
not
little Frenchie's so cute, little
the
red
elder.
Yeah, that's what I've wondered, Dr. Burgess. Like, of all the people that you could kidnap, and let's just say this was because of the daughter, Savannah Guthrie, and you were going to try to get money. But still, to take an 84-year-old woman who Savannah Guthrie said sometimes even has trouble walking to the mailbox. And, there's a lot of rich people around.
She says most days it's hard for her. She can't make it to the mailbox. And Brian's right. There's a lot more rich people around that's in better health.
I just wonder why do you think this woman, why an 84-year-old woman?
Well, unless it was the target was somebody else in the family, and the object was to get someone that was close to that. That is a possibility, that you could take somebody else than the actual target. And the other question you want to ask is who would benefit from this, and who is going to gain from this? Obviously, whoever took her. We know she was taken because she's not present, but
who benefits? Who benefits? Is it some random stranger? You can't convince me that it's a random stranger. Is it family? Is it people that has worked in her house? Again, seemingly, because people can say, oh well, something went wrong in the house. Bullshit. Listen, if something went wrong in the house, if they're going to take her, they're still going to take the other shit in the house. Come on now. If they're there to get jewelry, electronics, whatever, they were there 40 some minutes. They weren't in a hurry. They were going to take that stuff too. It was not to take valuables. The mission was Nancy. I feel like that, Ratui, as well. Right? This was not, they went there to take something and something went wrong. I am getting my stuff. If I am there to, I would never, but if I'm there, if I'm a criminal and I'm getting jewelry and stuff like that, shit, if something goes wrong and she dies or whatever, I'm still getting my shit. and do. Mm-hmm. So they weren't in a hurry. They had all the time in the world. I'm getting those electronics. I'm getting the jewelry. Okay. So that it doesn't ring true to me. Most criminals who's stealing jewelry and all that stuff, they don't want to be messed with. They don't want to be messed with. They want to take the shit and get out of there and get their cash. That's what they want. Right? They don't want a dead body on them. Okay? So the fact that people say, oh, it's something that went wrong. No, this was planned the way it went. The way this happened, they completed the mission the way that they wanted it to. Right? Most people, if something went wrong, right? I mean, listen, if you break in a house and there's an 84-year-old with a pacemaker that she's not really, she can't really put much of a defense up, right? Nancy is an 84-year-old is a meek lamb, if you will. There's not much they can do unless if they don't have a pew pew, at least, right? So, and someone that does this, they're not there on the 11th of January stalking the place when they just want some electronics or jewelry. Come on now. Mm-mm.
The motive for that is very curious. I think if they could get the motive, you'd have more to go on. But right now we don't. And there is that Bitcoin thing came up. We do know that. And so it's got to be someone that knows something about Bitcoins, right? It isn't some 84-year-old person trying to abduct her for some other reason. So money has to come in at some level, how primary it is, we don't know. Unless it's staged, unless it was staged, to throw everybody off.
What do you mean by that, staged?
For people to think that there was a motive like that. And it would still have to come from somebody that was involved, I think. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to accept that. It could just be someone. Law enforcement will always tell you that they get all kinds of tips when there's any type of a case like this.
It does feel that way, Tom.
Hundreds of tips, they say. So you want to be real careful that they accurately are classifying the tips.
Right, makes sense. When you said that she may not, I think you said she may not have been the target. They may have taken her to get to someone else.
Right.
What do you? Yeah, I haven't heard much about that theory. What do you mean by that?
Well, who in her orbit, let's call it that could be family, could be friends, would be hurt the most? And I think you can answer that. You know, we don't have to, but there's something could have come up there that we don't know about, and that's up to people.
Again, I don't think it was Savannah related whatsoever. I just cannot be convinced of that. This is, you are going to want to take her medicine. You are going to want to make sure Nancy is cushioned, that she is calm as possible, that she is okay as possible. You're going to want to show pictures or video that she is alive. And then we've got these notes that says she's alive in the beginning. And then the next note is, pretty much, don't bother, she's not alive. Doesn't make sense.
In her orbit to kind of figure out, because it's a very mean, angry, horrible thing to do. And then if it goes wrong, which obviously it did, I think, it doesn't make sense that she would be a target to do more than abduct her.
Yeah, it really is so perplexing.
More than abduct her. You're just going
the person or the people. Seems like it would probably take more than one person to pull all this off.
Absolutely.
That have still been able to evade capture. There's the $1 million reward now. What do you think it will take? I mean, you've studied the minds. I mean, is there any guilt there that would eventually set in, or could it be the desire for the money that someone finally gives into?
Hey, Lovey's House. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so very much for your support. 13 months. What a legend. Justin, whether family was involved or not, how can they legally proceed with acquiring Nancy's home assets with no body? Hope you heal quickly. Thank you so much, honey. Appreciate you. And thank you for your continued support. In Lovey's House, that is a valid question and things that really stump a lot of us. Now, the only thing I can think of is if there is a clause in her will that if she would be incapacitated, wasn't able to make decisions for herself for a certain amount of time, incapacitated, kidnapped, life support, anything like that, then it could be potentially transferred over. With like a power of attorney or something like that. Other than that, you just don't, just because someone goes missing, you don't just say they're dead. Legally, you might, the police might know that they're dead, but legally dead is a different thing, right? So, I agree. I don't think this is all about money. I think there's a factor that it stems from money, but I also think it could have been knowing information, something like that as well. My dad had a quick claim deed so my sister and I could sell. Yeah, but I'm sorry to hear about your dad. But the thing is, your dad, you knew he died, right? You probably had his remains, and all of that. So that's the difference. We don't have sorry about that. We don't have Nancy's remains in this. So if you don't have her remains, and this is the thing. You would think that if it was potentially family members or something like that, you would want her to be found in a sense if it's financial, because then you could prove that she is deceased and it could go on, right, with financially, if you will, and prove that she is deceased. But we don't have proof that Nancy is 100% deceased because A, we don't have her body, or B, we don't have proof that she would be like unalived in a camera or anything like that. So there's that. So it makes it a lot more complicated.
See, I don't think, I mean, it could be, of course, but I don't think it is. I think there's something else operating here. $1 million, people, you know, that's not a small sum. So as the money goes up,
it can be shortened. It absolutely can be shortened. But this is the thing. Like I said, unless there's a clause in, her will or power of attorney or something, I just don't. People who are doing this financially usually are in dire straits financially, meaning they need something. They need cash quickly, right? They're thinking about quickness. And again, maybe there's something we don't know that might have happened, or maybe there's something that and think about it this way. It could boil down to financial. However, it could boil down to, oh my God, my mom or my mother-in-law or my aunt or whoever didn't sign this, right? Maybe Nancy was redoing her will or something, and someone felt slighted and they got angry. And so, fine, if you're not going to give me what they think they're due whenever she dies, and that pisses someone off, that can be a reason for murder. I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up? Make sure my mic is on. Papa, can you hear me? So I think it's, in my opinion, this is something that someone might be pissed on or whatever. Think of it this way. And I'm not saying this happened. I'm just giving you examples of why sometimes things like this happen. Think about this. Let's say Nancy gave her niece, nephew, a bunch of money throughout time, right? Throughout time. But whenever the will comes about, she's not going to give you as much because she's already given you a shit ton of money while she was alive. And someone might get pissed at that. It could be a son-in-law, could be a daughter, could be anybody, right? Don't know. But sometimes people feel like, well, I've given you a lot. You've milked me while I've been alive. I'm not giving you one when I'm on the other side. So.
But it doesn't seem to have attracted anybody, any further information. I think you want to look at it from that standpoint. Nothing. Zitch.
Yeah.
Hopefully
so when
not.
you say something further going on, what do you mean? I feel like there's something you're not saying, sort of. Like that.
Well, yeah. Is there retaliation? Is there revenge? Is it you want to go down that line of possible motives, and that this is some way of getting even or whatever? I'm just.
I think that is what it is more of. Oh, I know why it's choppy. Hold on. This is why. There we go. That should be better. I feel like the reason this happened, in my opinion, it stems from financial, but again, I think someone feels wronged from that.
Listing them, it's not that I think that it's any one of those, but those would be possible motives. I mean, we usually do that anytime we're profiling and trying to go after motivate. Look at all of the possible motives and then start to narrow it down.
Do you think
That should
there's
be
a
better now.
possibility? And the sheriff has said yes to this question, but didn't really explain why. Do you think there's a possibility who did this could reoffend, could do this again?
I don't think so.
I'm not convinced that will happen
I
if
agree.
you follow the logic that it's something else. If it's what we call a personal cause. In other words, only to that person does it have meaning. So it's not like you have a serial offender that he's going to go out and do this to someone else. He could, of course, I'd answer yes, he could, but it is someone that does hold a grudge. I mean, we're seeing some of these. Look at the last two cases that have been solved and how long the grudge went. Remember the Brown University case?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the poor professor up here in Massachusetts was.
Well, not to mention, think of the ex in Ohio case. Think about that case. He went in, he held a grudge for like 10 years. I don't know how these people hold grudges for that long. I couldn't do it. I'm not the type of person that holds a grudge. Like, it makes me sick to hold a grudge. Like, I might get really mad at you and go off or whatever, but it's not going to, I'm done after that. Like, I'm not going to hold a grudge against you. But people do. They will hold a grudge for decades sometimes. You never know. It's too much energy wasted. Yes. Savannah did have an ex-husband, but that doesn't necessarily, no, I don't think he
murdered. And then there was one other case I'm trying to think of where, the Tethy case, the husband wife.
Yes.
Those are years, 8.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about, the Tepe case, Spencer and Monique Tepe.
10 years, that's a long time. You like to think that people that hold grudges or are paranoid or whatever, that it kind of wears itself out, but not in those two cases, it didn't.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the Brown professor hadn't even interacted with that man for years and years. So I guess if the FBI, if they're hitting dead ends on things right now, they have to go back. I hadn't thought about this. They could have to go back a decade.
They are. Absolutely. That's why legacy cases are very important. Very important. That's one of the first things you do.
It is just as important. I say this all the time. It is just as important to think about what led up to the person being unalived or going missing, because something happened for the person to unalive them, right? There is a grudge, there's jealousy. You don't want to see that person happy, prosperous, married. They feel wronged in some way. And that's what has happened in every single case. Every single case, there has to be that motive. That motive. What is it? I think he's still in AZ, Ruko. I think so. There's resentment. There is resentment here. Yeah. Yeah. I hold grudges, then forget why I was holding grudges. At least you're honest, right? This seems so planned out and intimate. I just can't believe in someone with a grudge, an external person. I agree. I can't stay mad too long. It's a wasted energy for me. I get over things very quickly. Guys, if you're just joining us, mods, will you let me know how many thumbs up we have in each chat room? Please hit that thumbs up, guys. Really appreciate you all being here. Share the live out.
When you have a case like
Please.
you're looking at now is where has it happened before? And look what they've come up with. It's been the baby cases. It's been the Lindbergh case. Of course, that was.
I mean, this is the thing. There could have even been something like, Nancy was getting older. There could have been a fight about Nancy. And this is all speculation. I just want you to know, but I'm just trying to give you guys thought-provoking conversation here. There could be something like, which Savannah says, mom didn't really want to move out, so Tommaso and Annie took care of them. But there could have been a conversation come up in the last, year or so about Nancy needing to move in with them or needing to go to a retirement home. It's could be something like that. And there sometimes you'll start out with this conversation, but then you'll bring, people will fight and they'll bring in things that happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Well, back then you didn't do this. And it just gets people on a snowball effect and it pisses people off. And it just goes downhill from there. So, yeah, Lexi, it is. Absolutely. I totally believe in the conversation of downsizing and home renovations and not if she was going to fall when she was going to fall. The house was too big. And Janice, yes, that kind of we're on the same page there. There comes a time you could tell in Nancy's, you could tell in her photos that she has really declined health wise in the last several years. And, it's this is the thing. As we get older, we don't get better. And that's just the absolute harsh reality of life. We don't get better at 84, right? We can recover from where we were, right? If we got ill or something, but we don't get better. Our graph doesn't go up, right? And that is it's a hard pill to swallow for the ones we love and ourselves, but that is the truth. And Nancy wasn't getting better. So
Money, but look at how bold that was. That's a pretty bold one back in 1932, that they put a ladder up and go up, and the family is home, and they still get away with it, or at least they don't get away with it per se, but they get the baby out. Let me put it that way.
He was in.
What are the other ones? There are a couple others that they've had in the news since this case.
A lot of people think the reason that this case has been so popular, I guess maybe that's not the right word, but people are so invested in it is because of Savannah Guthrie, the daughter. But
and this is another thing, thinking about this, Nancy had, which I had shown you guys a long time ago, of the permits. She was doing an electrical upgrade. She could have been doing an electrical upgrade and doing these things for the house to get the house ready, even to sell for later. If she decided to downsize or, just make sure everything was done before, she passes or whatever. You don't know, but what I'm saying is something led up to Nancy disappearing. Someone had to have this motive of the days, the weeks, months, sometimes years that led up to her disappearance. It's a lot of work to get the house ready to sell. Yes.
I also think it's because so many of us with aging parents or grandparents, like this is our worst nightmare. You're always a little concerned, like your mom doesn't want to move into a retirement home.
I don't
You're
think
trying
it's
to give her
Savannah at all
independence, but
either.
you're always just a little bit worried at all times that someone's going to take advantage. Like even with the scam phone calls, and it just seems like it comes at older people from every direction now. How do you think that plays into this?
Well, I think you raise a very interesting.
Where did you see that? Seriously, her electric panel caught fire, not an upgrade. Well, the thing says electrical upgrade, and she got it done. She got the permit in, I think, September or October of 2025, and it wasn't done till like January.
Interesting point. That could be a motive. That could be a motive. Pay more
It wasn't
attention
completed till
to our elders. So look at what can happen. You could have somebody that had an experience. I will always say they have to have had some genesis, if you will, of that. Did they lose an elder parent? Are they angry that nothing was done to help that? And that could stimulate or activate some. So I think you have identified another possible motive that's as remote as the one I gave.
Yeah, well, to take an 84-year-old like that, I guess you could be trying to send some kind of message.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so unusual.
And it has been. I'm not saying that's a positive of this, but it is something people have talked about and have thinking about. How are we handling our aging family members?
Yeah, I've certainly thought a lot about it just from covering it. Has there been, and I think you teach a class on this, you did teach a class on this, has there been an increase in elder abuse? I mean, is that something that we're seeing more of in America?
There's been a huge spike in it, a huge spike in it. I did a whole live stream on it, but it's mainly financial. Okay, gonna go to the interview room and show you something here. I mean, it is just in the Bitcoin. Just in the Bitcoin last year was over 500 million in scams. Just Bitcoin, just elderly, by the way. I don't think Savannah's in need of money. Savannah has nothing to do with this. She has nothing to do with this. Poor thing. Nothing.
Just doesn't make sense. Even we thought the calls to the hospital and the paramedic story just was weird.
Fell off the turnip truck.
We're going to cross those T's and dot those I's just in case. And we're going to call ourselves. We're going to have dispatch. We're going to have officers go to the hospital. And that's what you do. I had officers go to all the hotels and pull up, registrations and that kind of stuff. Now, today, it's all electronic.
I don't think she's worth 40 million.
Make a phone call and say, hey, do you have Miss Guthrie there? She's 84. No, we don't have a Miss Guthrie. Thank you very much. Click.
I mean, I think, though, that's more investigative, but
so.
Maybe, hospitals is more like immediate medical type of thing. Rule it in, rule it out.
Yeah. And isn't that why it kind of sticks out in your mind? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't want to backtrack. I want to kind of stay where we are right here.
Okay, let's keep moving.
I again don't want to get into that. David, can you see anything here?
Hey, you've been up all night. Do you see anything here? Just the blood, the door, the suspicious house, and the fact that you've been up all night. Do you see anything here? No, we don't see anything here. Nothing to see here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This time it's still a very active investigation. There were circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature, I think is the best way to put it.
Listen to that.
Blood on the porch.
Okay. Hold on.
That we didn't know.
Listen to this.
Circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature, I think is the best way to put it.
Blood on the porch. Okay.
That we didn't know about at this time.
But just tell the public, even at this point, it's not hold back information.
Right. Blood.
Okay? Brian Enton the next day goes up there with a camera and takes pictures of it. And then the pizza man shows up.
Exactly.
And the Amazon
everybody's up there.
And the pool cleaner.
The Amazon guy is taking pictures of the package he puts down. For all
the
we know, there's
blood.
pictures of the
What?
blood in the
The Adult Protective Services is leaving their card
those
up there.
package
It's not
pictures.
Unbelievable.
like
But you can't get this guy to say it.
But we can't really get into a whole lot of details with that.
Do you believe that this was targeted, or
I texted
it
Mary.
just happened to hit Savannah Guthrie's mouth, or if this was just random?
We don't know that. We don't, we look at all of that, but we just don't know that.
Do they have cameras at the home?
They do, and we're looking through some of that.
With this being an active crime scene, is there any threat to the general public?
Trying to figure out my phone.
Listen
Well,
to this.
you know,
What was
What?
that? I wasn't paying attention to the question.
Yeah.
The question was only, is the public in?
Right. I mean, think of this guy. He's looking at his damn cell phone, taking notes from family members, it appears. And what was that? What was that? I'm so sorry. I was looking at my cell phone to see what I was supposed to say.
Danger? You got potentially, a killer out there.
My
He's like,
Facebook page is going off.
Oh, someone's texting me. Hang on.
Hang on, I got
What?
to check my Tinder app.
And this guy wonders why
Oh my God. That's
everybody and
funny.
their brother has been critical of him. Unbelievable. Okay, keep going.
no, I don't think there's an active threat, but I hate to say that because, you know, we're going to canvass that neighborhood and maybe there's a prowler been seen around. There's a lot of work still to do. We don't have any indication that that the public is in danger.
So they have no indication that the public is in danger. So that means they didn't think they were in, they thought they were on the right track. They think they're on the right track. Okay. So let's do the checks and balances. At this point in the juncture of this investigation, they're going to start impounding cars. They're going to start searching houses, and they're going to
Which
start
they did.
questioning the family.
The family.
And what does that search look like today beyond what you've already told us about last night?
So we have shut down our search and rescue mission, and we've sent them home to rest. They were out all night. Look, we put all our air assets into this. Our drone system.
You've put your ass into it. That's the only thing you've put your ass in, Sheriff Doofy. That's it. You've made yourself look like an ass.
Our aircraft, our helicopters, heat sensors, infrared, everything we've had, we've thrown at this. They're going to step aside. We'll call them out again if we need to do more searching. But right now, we don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
Okay, so he's eliminated quickly. This isn't a search mission. This is a crime scene. Okay, and now he's given all the toys that he's thrown. But what I cut out all of the complaints to the board about other things that he needed, other toys. So he has to remind them, I used all of these toys on this case, et cetera, et cetera.
Here's what never made sense to me as a journalist. You don't have the body of Nancy in the home. She was taken. Why not continue the search?
Exactly. I don't know. This has frustrated me to the nth degree, thinking about they didn't really search for Nancy. Yeah, there's been little small searches, but nothing like, in my opinion, they should have. Because either way, if you find Nancy, you're going to find she's evidence, right? And that might lead to you finding the person who did it as soon as possible. So you can do the investigative, but you can also search at the same time.
Your crime scene investigation, obviously, this is a homicide. Why not continue with the search? What if that search was able to find her body? That piece, why can't you do both? Never made sense.
Well, and not only that, remember the
sense.
first night, all those coyotes
It's so
were
frustrating.
screaming and yelling while the media was on scene? We don't know what those coyotes were doing. Okay. I mean, it was, I heard it, I think it was on Brian Enton. He was like, I've never heard anything like this in my life. Okay. For all we know, they found Nancy.
Diana, Thank you so much, babe. Appreciate that. He is Sheriff Doofy, isn't he? Thank you so much, though. Justin, this is for naming Nanos Sheriff Doofy. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. I need to find some clips of Sheriff Doofy. Sheriff Doofy. You know how he does. Nanos can't be that incompetent. He's the problem with Nanos is he's arrogant and he's prideful and he has a chip on his shoulder. That's his problem. Right? It really is, Leslie. And I hope the hell that after this is solved, Savannah files a lawsuit on this county because there was just gross incompetence here. Absolute gross incompetence. Hey, Mama, good to see you, baby. Brandy and Indy, hey, baby, good to see you. Faye, I agree, Justin. It's first to see searching only does the culprit and not the victim. It's crazy. It's just crazy to me. Like, she is evidence. Even if she's found alive, she's technically evidence because she lived through it, right? So why are you not looking for her body, her remains, or her being alive? It just ugh, makes they do have immunity, but there's also they do. You're right. Yes, law enforcement does, but that still doesn't. It's kind of like signing a contract. Yeah, you sign a contract, but that doesn't also mean you're free from everything. Law enforcement gets sued all the
We
time.
don't know that.
Chris, let me ask you, in all the hundreds of homicide cases you've investigated and you had missing people, you have people that seemingly.
And that's the thing, right? Where was that? Brandy. There's definitely DNA, if not destroyed by now, in my opinion. Yes, exactly. And like the longer she is out there, the longer it's harder to find what happened to her, how she died, right? Unless there's, something potentially on her skeletal or whatever. DNA deteriorates over time. Why are you not looking for her? And again, there were search groups that was out there that's all they do, that are respectfully much, much, much better than law enforcement at searching. Law enforcement has to do a little bit of everything. They are there to investigate and stuff. Law enforcement aren't search and rescue. That is not what they are specialized in. They could have had Texas Equa Search, right? The other I forget what the other guys are called, all out there saying that they will search for Nancy. That's what they do. They have better equipment than law enforcement ever dreamt about. Why? Why not? Ego,
seemingly
in my
disappeared.
opinion.
You are called in, you start the homicide investigation, you and the team.
Agent Navy, thank you.
Do the search efforts stop or do they keep going?
They keep moving.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kate.
Okay, that's the piece of this that didn't make any sense. Obviously, Nanos called the shot on stopping it. He's going to have a lot to answer for, in my opinion, in the future about why that stopped.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait a minute, why'd you make that call so fast?
Yes, Jennifer.
So quickly. So there's more, again, that leans us towards there's more behind the scenes going on. They have a lot more information, granted, that we'll never know about yet. However, he is leaning one way.
I think that they did. I think they did the first night. But again, they just like Texas EquiSearch. They have equipment that law enforcement doesn't have, and they have just a splendid record of finding, producing people, and they're always getting new equipment in. They're totally nonprofit. When it was Mandy's birthday, we raised, I think, $8,000 or $9,000 for EquiSearch on one live stream for them equipment and stuff. Like, people, donate to them, and they get the equipment and all of that, and they find people all the time, all the time. Hope Floats, thank you, baby, for renewing your membership, brother. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, lovies. Good to see you, Hope. Thank you so much for your support, my love. Good to see you. Yes, Tim Miller's a very good man, very good man. And he's, he lost his daughter, so he can relate.
In my opinion.
Can you tell us a little bit about that map?
That is, and David probably can better.
This poor guy's caught in the headlights.
Answer it than I, but that is our search patterns, I believe. Is that
Yes. So with all the assets that we deployed yesterday with the search and rescue teams, the map that's on the screen is
Hope. Thank you, baby.
Basically tracks that were followed. Those are all the colored lines are all ground tracks of different teams and different assets that were used on the ground, to include the canines, the volunteers, and our own search and rescue team. The circles are going to be representative, if not necessarily perfect, of our air circulation with both our helicopter and our fixed wing aircraft at night, working with the night time cameras. So difficult to see where the house is. The house is basically pretty close to center in that, and then all of the searching that went on throughout the day with those folks out there on the ground.
What this really helps with is our search teams, when they come back and reassess, maybe they've missed an area, we can look at it and say, hey, you know what, this area could use a little more coverage, and so they concentrate again. Our search and rescue team is top notch. They're out every single day. If it's not a lost person, it's a hiker, it's somebody who's wandered away from a care home, whatever it may be. I want to stress to you, right, and it is really important, Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind. This is not.
Okay, this is another really important point. She's of great sound mind. Okay? He's level setting her cognitive thinking process. Why would she walk off?
Exactly.
Why would, if you believe this woman is solid, why wouldn't you believe, or why would you think that she would have just walked out of the house then and propped the doors open, or left the doors propped open and left her watch, left her wallet, left all of her cards, everything in her house? You know, he's declaring her as a cognitive woman, thought process. It's all there. It's functioning fine. The only limitation she has, according to him, is she needs medication within 24 hours, or it could be fatal. And she can't walk 50 feet.
He's getting this from the family, obviously. But
All of
he
it.
apparently didn't listen to the family the first night, because he still thought it was a walk-off, because he said,
didn't do his own investigation
it's
to
cold
it.
out here and we would be concerned about her.
I got to show y'all
So,
something in a
in-
second.
I don't know this. My opinion, it's sort of a guess, but the family probably said, look, stop saying she's a walk-off. She has no dementia. She's very solid mind, and start investigating this as a crime.
Not a dementia related. She is as sharp as a tack. The family wants everybody to know this isn't somebody.
The family wants you to know this
There
is
we
not
go.
somebody who wandered off.
This is going off of what the family said, not what he's investigating, what the family said.
The talking point. The sheriff's not coming to that conclusion. He's taking it from the family.
And it's a cop out. What he needs to say is, look, the family has shared with us that Nancy is sharp as a tack, right? And move on.
Yes.
He's just like belaboring this point,
Well, and with that is you get tunnel vision. The investigation, look at some of the other, look at Barry Morphew. Tunnel vision at first. Was it a lion? Did a lion take her?
Well,
Right.
I mean, that was just that was cover story after cover story.
And that's the point. He's got a script of talking points somewhere. He doesn't do well following a script,
Nanos.
according to him.
Right. I mean, again, he needs to be attributing this to our investigators. They've talked with the family. The family says she's sharp as a tack. She didn't wander off. We're investigating this as a homicide.
Just wandered off. Her physical limits are based on just age and, we get old. And so it's more physical, but clearly she is as sharp as a tack.
Do you have her cell phone, and does that present any tracking potential?
We're looking at that as we speak.
But do you have it or do you not?
We do have it.
Can you give us a little bit more of a
Hold on, what?
timeline? Because you said she didn't leave on her own.
Hold on, what?
She is as sharp as a tack.
Do you have her cell phone, and does that present any tracking potential?
We're looking at that as we speak.
Okay.
But do you have it or do you not?
We do have it.
We do
Can
have
you give
it.
us a little
Okay.
bit more of a timeline? Because you said she didn't leave on her own. That she was last seen at 9:45. She wasn't reported missing until noon. But
I believe what happened there was at 9:45 in the evening, her children left her off. At some time earlier,
Her children left her off.
That implies
Two.
Yes. And again, how did we get from one? How did we get from one or two children to one person, i.e. Tommaso? Right? How did we get there? Where did the story change? When did he learn something else? You know what I mean? Like, that's weird, Sheriff Doofy. It's a little weird.
Yeah, the story's changed multiple times.
that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said,
The next morning, they got a call from somebody at the church.
Which is actually incorrect. It was her girlfriend. And Nancy didn't show up to the girlfriend's house where they watch a church service online.
But he cognitively connected the children to the phone call the next morning, the same ones.
hey, your mom's not here. The family went to the house.
The family went to the house. Now, remember, he separated the family into two buckets a little earlier. So we now know when he refers to the family, he's talking about Annie and her husband.
Yes, Annie and Tommaso. Right? Hey, Nun, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Pearl family. Good to see you. Thank you, my friend. Really, really do appreciate you. Y'all welcome Nun, I3X, to the Pearl family. Really appreciate you, my dear. So when he's talking about the children, he's talking about Annie and Tommaso, even though he's the son-in-law.
He's not talking about Savannah, so don't get confused. Okay? Savannah's not in this conversation here. Don't get confused.
Thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11.
Okay. Now, this is a problem right here. They spent some time looking for her. Where did he get this information from? This is a problem, y'all. Where did he get this information? Is he just pulling this out of his ass? Or did Sheriff Doofy, was he told this? Was he told this? That they looked for her a while? Listen.
Okay. They spent some time looking for her themselves. I'm guessing maybe got there around 11.
Maybe.
This is
You're the damn
really
investigator,
important.
sir.
This is important.
Very important.
Because this will change by 56 minutes. Either
Right.
the cops got it wrong,
Or he got it wrong.
and they told him
Or
we got
been
it
told
wrong by
something else.
56 minutes. How do you know that? Well, we went back and we interviewed him again. Or I would look through my notes. And if that's the case, a 56-minute discrepancy from a homicide investigator, that guy should be fired.
Yes.
Okay, let's keep going.
Absolutely fired.
So they did some searching and realized.
Even he's like, so they did some searching and realized, what were you going to say?
If they pulled up and they saw the doors propped open and they weren't highly alarmed, the children,
Right.
they did some
And
looking themselves.
blood.
Again, my question is, why didn't they get on the phone and call 911 immediately?
Well, that's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
One of them.
It's a question and it's out there.
The other elephant in the room is, how did they get in the house?
Right.
Because we don't have the data points again. Let's go back to that. But it looks like they're doing some searching, quote, themselves. Okay. This is a lot different than they got there at 11:56 and they made the phone call at 12:03.
Which came days and days later.
So it went from 56 minutes
How?
to 7 minutes
How did that change?
in the timeline.
Right. You were either looking for them. They were, Tommaso and Annie were either looking for them. Hey, I plead the fifth. Good to see you, hun. Or they weren't, right? Or they were told, the police were told something different in a different interview. He won't release the 911 calls. Surprise that as well. Yes. Yes.
We need some help, and they called 911.
Do you have any idea what time Nancy would have been taken from the home?
There's a lot of things working there, and I just can't say that.
See, he was asked a direct question. Do you have any idea what time they
So
actually got there, or
frustrating.
something to
Hey,
that
Michelle.
effect? And he
What
goes,
time she was taken from the home?
what time she was taken from the home. And immediately he says there's a lot of working there. And again, he dodges.
Right now.
So again, now they're saying that, we've got a timeline about, in that 40 some minutes of whenever she was allegedly taken from the home. Here, he will not say if she was taken home in that time frame. Was she taken before that? Like, what's up?
Has Savannah Guthrie, has she had any threats to herself at all?
We've spoken to her. We'll continue to work with that. She has a security team that's been in touch with us throughout the night.
Okay, now this is the first time that
Hey, guys.
Savannah has been
I
interjected
gotta share
into the possible scenario.
Okay, we're going to get to that in just 1 second. I call him Sheriff Doofy. He fell off a turnip truck. Here is a mix of Sheriff Doofy and Sheriff Doofy. There you go. There is Sheriff Doofy. There we go. You are so welcome. Oh my God. Sorry. That's about right. That's about right, if you ask me.
As to why her mom would have been abducted. This came from a reporter. Savannah says it came from her brother.
Hold on,
Her
what?
brother said,
Hold on, what? Wait.
scenario and interjected into the possible scenario as to why her mom would have been abducted.
Okay.
This came from a reporter. Savannah says it came from her brother. Her brother says, remember when Savannah asked him, do you think it's because of me?
Oh, gotcha.
And he says, yes, sweetie.
I know where Chris is going now.
I.e. because
Okay.
of your celebrity.
It could be.
It could be. The sheriff
Okay. You know what it feels like, in my opinion, and I don't want to speak for Chris, but it feels like, in my opinion, that again, you know how I said that I feel like Savannah's being manipulated? How when Savannah spoke to her brother and she said, do you think it's because of me? And the brother said, well, yes, sweetheart, or whatever. It feels like, in my opinion, that someone, maybe family members, went to Savannah's brother and kind of put this narrative out. And Savannah's brother spoke to Savannah. And it feels like, in my opinion, that family came to Sheriff Doofy. As you just seen here, he was reading these screenshots, and he has this narrative that he is reading out publicly to us. And he said, this is coming, the family wants me to say this or whatever. Families give me notes or something. It feels like there's narratives coming from different angles, but they're coming from the same people.
actually answered this question in a live press conference, and the world heard it. So my question is, where did her brother hear it?
You can think that astrology.
Which came first?
The chicken or the egg?
A summer breeze.
Okay. Because it was a reporter that actually asked the question.
Exactly.
And he responded, Savannah's security team had already talked to him. And what's interesting about this comment is they talked to him last night.
But we're not going to dismiss any angles for sure. But right now, immediately, we don't know of anything like that.
Is she in town or on the way here?
She's here.
Can you give us any more? What should somebody be looking for? Because when I was out in the neighborhood, the neighbors are obviously incredibly concerned. But is there anything, a tip? I mean, one neighbor stopped me and he didn't know if he should call you or not. So
Oh my goodness.
But so what should somebody be looking for?
Well, first of all, I'd ask them, go through their cameras. Go through their Ring cameras, whatever cameras they may have. Don't dismiss it that, oh, well, we really can't see the house. They still might see something. Maybe it's somebody walking by. Maybe it's a vehicle driving by at that time of day. But go through all your cameras in that neighborhood and tell us if you see something. Maybe somebody already, we know this happens, right? Oh, I saw something suspicious, but I didn't think it was worth calling in, so I didn't call it in. Well, now it's call in anything you've seen or heard. Maybe it's a neighbor telling you, I saw this or I heard that. Call us.
That's right.
Tell the neighbor to call us. Tell the neighbor to call us, but you call us.
That's right, Kat. Feels like the family is involved in the background of the investigation, and we're getting info from Savannah. Yep. I think it's being
as well.
manipulated.
We'll put it together. We'll get, trust me, I'm sure we're going to get inundated with a lot of calls. We'll handle that.
Did she live alone?
I believe, yes, she did. Yeah.
Were there any caregivers you're normally associated with her?
Well, she has,
Absolutely, Holly. And let me tell you something. They need to FOIA Nonad's phone because that phone was being used as in his official capacity, whether it was his personal phone or his regular phone. That conversation needs to be brought to light. In my
house staff that comes by, takes care of the yard, whatever, that in her house and that. But those people we'll be talking with and have talked to some of them already.
But nobody who's like a live-in or anything.
Nobody actually lives with her, no. Like I say, she's of great sound mind and she is mobile. It's just, it's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards.
As the family said, she couldn't walk 50 yards, 50 feet. It's a 50.
By herself.
So somebody asked about the FBI if they're involved.
We, like I said, we work closely with all of our partners, whether they're.
Question was, are you working with the FBI specifically? I.e., did you call in the FBI? Are they coming in to assist with this case? That was the question. And how does he answer it? Let's hear.
We work with all of our partners.
FBI, ATF, ICE, who.
He adds ICE, ATF.
We're not talking about ICE. We're talking about the FBI and a missing woman.
We know that they have certain capabilities and certain resources, just as we have certain capabilities.
Just as we had. He does a compare and contrast against his agency because we all know, by the way, this is the next morning, right? You got the homicide guy that's been up all night or whenever this is. It's like right there, okay, within the first 48. And he doesn't want the FBI involved because we know he told them, we don't need you. We don't want you.
Well, that's apparent. That's freaking apparent.
Okay. And then he realized, oh, crap, I made another mistake. I guess I should have the FBI here. And you watch, that back curtain right there will have the FBI standing behind him. And this is going to be the really fun part of this program tonight. Get your popcorn, because it's going to be fun.
Those resources. So yes, we'll continue to work with them, and they've offered assistance to us. We accept that assistance, and we offer assistance. But just last week, the FBI called us to handle a shooting that involved border.
Okay, so
nobody gives a rip about last week's shooting. We're here for Nancy Guthrie. Why does this guy not get it?
He's just full of hot air. Sheriff Doofy is full of hot air. That's it.
Sorry, go. I get so infuriated watching this. Like, stop it. Stick to the script.
Are we the only ones? Are we the only ones, you guys? I mean, it's like, I made a tuna sandwich yesterday and I wasn't quite sure, but I wanted a.
I didn't sure if I should use mayonnaise or not.
Okay, well, we didn't ask you about a cheese sandwich or a tuna sandwich.
You need to know that. That's just day-to-day routine work for the law enforcement in Pima County in Tucson.
In Pima County and Tucson?
No one's asking that question.
Move.
It's not a question. Move. Stop putting a layer of, I'm so great. My agency's wonderful. We don't need any help.
Yep, kimchi, exactly.
Stick to answering the questions with the case at hand.
Yeah. I mean, it's not rocket science.
We've worked very closely with our partners.
He didn't answer he didn't answer the question at all.
And again, he says this throughout the entire thing, and it was I took a mental note. I didn't understand why he kept saying this. Now we do. He always talks about, and we work very close with our partners, our federal and state partners, our federal and state partners, our federal and state partners. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
All he says is we work very closely with our partners, but the partners are not partnering yet. Okay, they're not partners yet.
Thank you. Exactly.
The FBI, who We don't want anything to do with you guys.
Time that's going
You
by,
have a
how
chip
wide
on
do you
your
cast
shoulder,
in the net?
Doofy.
Statewide, national?
Well, yes, national for sure, right? So I'm hoping the national media's picked up on this. We've gotten a lot of reports, but statewide as well, with Amber Alerts,
Here we go.
things like that.
Amber Alert.
Amber.
An Amber? What the fuck? An Amber Alert? Do you know what, sir? Do you know what an Amber Alert is? It's not for 80. Okay. Never mind.
You mean a silver alert?
That will, all of those things we use. Every tool we have, we will use.
Well,
This guy's smoking something. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. Welcome, darling. Thank you so much. Welcome. We're probably going to get fired up in a minute, so just everyone take a deep breath. We're about to go in the inferno. Okay? We're about to go in the inferno. So, with Sheriff Doofy. And I just want to reiterate, this will be painful. So, be ready.
This is
Okay, so this is is it not the next day, but the next press conference?
Next press conference in the afternoon, because the FBI called and said,
I
look,
think it was 2 days later.
here's a hint. Yeah. You need some help, bro.
Yeah, you're drowning.
Thank you. Exactly.
Okay. I love this guy, this Fed back there with the tie. Okay. Watch him. Listen to Nonads, but watch his reactions.
really, for me,
Watch this guy's react. Watch
pretty
yeah.
new. All the media attention. So I apologize.
And just so you know, the FBI is trained to look very stoic. They're not very animated like Sheriff Nonads. But even the FBI guy cannot help but essentially roll his eyes.
Starts off with, for me, this is all new. But by golly, we've handled a lot of high profile cases before. But this is all new for me. Okay. Well, it's not about you. It's about Nancy Guthrie. Okay. He should have just walked up to the podium again and say, thank you for being here. Here's what we've got on the agenda today. Boom. Get into it. Okay. Instead of, hey, by the way, I combed my hair using a number 3, brush.
To you for sometimes I'm speaking in generalities and
speaking in tongues. This guy.
It's just like torture watching this.
And did I tell you I was suspended 37 times?
I'm not used to everybody hanging on to my
And have a chip on the FBI and was investigated a few years ago.
and then tried to hold me accountable.
Oh, who would hold him accountable?
Okay, we could do a whole show on that. No, you're only the highest law enforcement
book
elected
on
official in
the
Pima
poetry?
County. Hang on to my words and hold me accountable. Yeah, guess what? You're accountable.
You're the sheriff.
Watching.
You're the freaking sheriff. Okay.
Look,
you got elected. The poor FBI guy back there is like, oh my gosh. He's trying to.
Sheriff Nonads looks like a javelin, right?
The FBI guy
Straight
is
face
classic during this. Look at, he's got both hands on his hips, like
He thinks it's an entertainment
he does.
show.
It's an entertainment. But look at the FBI guy. He's like, oh my gosh, how did I get this assignment?
For what I say, but I understand.
Hang on, I got to take off the banner so you can see this guy clearly. Hang on for a minute. I got to remove this. Okay, there you go. All right. Hang on. I mean, this is good shtick. You can't even make this stuff up.
So we're going to try our best to be succinct with you in the future.
Just look at him. He looks like he wants to punch his lights out.
This guy's like,
and it just
you're going to
started.
try your best.
You
Look,
son of a-
he's got his head cocked
He's
to the
like, "Are
side
you
looking over
serious?"
like, seriously, you're going to try your best? How about do your best?
And also more important for you to understand is
There's no confidence in this sheriff, right? it feels like SNL. It really does. It really does, and that's sad. Hey, little black bear, good to see you, honey. Most sheriffs are confident, Nancy, we're coming to find you. We have assured the family that we are going to find Nancy, all of this. Not, we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best. The FBI's like, the fuck?
We have a lot of work in front of us. We have a job to do. And we have someone's life who is in jeopardy.
Watch
So job number one is we got to find her, and we got to work hard to do that.
It's fucking with his belt.
I understand there's great attention on this, and rightfully so. I appreciate it, and I thank you for it, because it has generated a lot of leads for us. And so we're tracking those leads, and we're doing things with evidence that you would expect us to be doing.
Hello, I'm John Edwards. My spelling is JONEDWARDS. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI's office.
He's not the psychic John Edwards, by the way.
Office here in Tucson. First, we want the community to know that the FBI is doing everything in our power to bring Nancy Guthrie home.
That's what I said last night.
The FBI is working alongside the Pima County Sheriff's Department on this incident.
Do you see the difference in professionalism here? Sheriff No Nads. Looking like a funky chicken up there. No confidence whatsoever. Guy comes up in his suit. Very stoic, very stern. We're,
Side the Pima County Sheriff's Office on this incident.
Totally different.
In terms of what the FBI is doing,
This is the scope of involvement, what the sheriff has said to the FBI. This is what you guys will do. Do you understand me? My lab guys have already sent the DNA, everything off to Florida, but we didn't tell you about that.
He does. He looks like he's about ready to flog somebody, like the cameraman up there. That's what he looks like, Sheriff No Nads. He looks like a funky chicken. Looks like he's on a flog.
So we're going to tell you what
Cameraman.
you're going to do. And this is the scope of involvement and support.
we are providing the following support. Primarily, it's analytical and technical support in the following ways. We're downloading and analyzing cell phones, obtaining cell tower information.
Okay, downloading and analyzing cell phones. Okay. Whose cell phones are you downloading and analyzing?
Conducting interviews, and providing any and all investigative support that the Sheriff's Department needs. We are looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. If you live in the area or saw something on Saturday night, the 31st of January.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Lisa. They have not found Nancy, but I believe this would have been much, much closer, because in the beginning is very critical, very, very critical to finding answers. And if the sheriff is not truly working, you can say you're working with them, but if you're not providing them with everything you know and giving them the cold shoulder for the first 3 weeks, not giving the evidence to the FBI where they can send it to their labs and send back quickly, it really hinders it.
Or Sunday morning, the 1st of February. Please report it to the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI.
You notice he didn't leave the sheriff's phone number.
Yes. She took the words out of my mouth. Didn't say call Pima County. Call 1-800-FBI, right?
Yeah.
You can call Pima County, or you can call FBI, and here's the FBI's number.
But what was the
Which is
sequence of the
fine.
order?
Yeah, exactly.
Call Pima County first or us.
And here's the number.
And here's the number. And if you need to, just call the sheriff. He said you could do that the night before.
Yeah.
Sheriff
said, y'all, just call me.
Speed
Exactly.
and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one. Again, please help us bring Nancy Guthrie home. Thank you.
Yes.
Succinct, to the point,
By
professional.
golly gee.
Get in, get out.
Now watch Nonads.
Here he comes. He's going to flog the chicken.
We'll take some
Sheriff,
questions.
Sheriff, is there any indication so far as to whether this was a random abduction or targeted?
It's like I said earlier, we're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that. We'll look at both sides of that.
Do you have any idea what Nancy Guthrie was wearing or the type of car that she might have left from or any identifiable information?
Okay, again, watch the FBI guy because he knows it's going to come hard and fast. I mean, this is like a baseball game now. Okay, the pitcher is the press, and they're going to throw
painful.
fastballs, curves,
Look at the poor FBI guy.
knuckleballs, and just watch the FBI guy because he's gonna give you all we need to know about if this guy gets strikes, balls, or if actually he gets hit in the head with a line drive.
That the public could use to help with those tips.
We do not.
Sheriff, do you believe that one or more than one person was involved in the kidnapping?
I just no clue. It could have been one. It could have been more.
Is there
any indication that Nancy Guthrie is still alive? We know the medication played a critical role here. It's been 48 hours. She needs it every single day. Are you looking for someone that is still alive?
We hope we are.
Sheriff Banner said earlier that you don't believe there's a wider threat to the public. If you're not sure if it's targeted, why do you believe there's no wider threat to the public?
Well, we have crime in Tucson all the time, right?
Well, then why did you say weeks later, everybody needs to watch out that there could be broader, concern for the public?
City. And so when you say a threat to the public, is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case. We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
If she was taken home against her will, then why are you thinking she's walking off?
Sheriff, when you reference violence at the site, can you elaborate on that? And also, was there a sign of forced entry, any valuables taken, any bank or ATM cards used after her disappearance?
We're not getting into that. What I'd tell you is, like any crime scene, we processed this crime scene. We gathered all the evidence we could to include looking for what? Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine. And we gathered that out. Those things have been submitted forward to labs, to technology.
Don't forget, by this time, they had already cleared Nancy's home and let it go back to the public, let anybody, family or anybody go in there that had access on the property and inside the property. And then the FBI had to go back and started, having to do their investigation.
Companies to help us, and we're like you. We're waiting for those returns to come back.
Did you find DNA to the...
Watch his eyes.
Look at him
opening his eyes.
Look at
Did you see that?
Body language.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yes, Chris is exactly right. You see him? This FBI, he's like, watch this. Watch him.
Look at him opening.
Watch
Waiting for
this.
those returns to come back.
Did you find DNA to the...
Look at him opening his eyes.
Look at that one.
Body language
I locked
expert.
it right there.
Yeah.
He's like,
The fuck?
okay, yeah, you sent it right. We learned about that when we got here this morning, that you sent it to the lab in Florida. And
Instead of letting us
we
taking
could
it
have
to our
turned
lab.
around. I mean, that one's classic right there. It's like, seriously?
Not belong in that house? The window
Poor Nancy, man. Poor
he
Nancy.
had a long stare at him.
Poor
and
Nancy.
now he's going, that was a knuckleball. I think he got hit by a pitch.
time from when she was last seen to when she
Absolutely.
was reported missing. And I know you guys are asking for help from the public. Is there any way to...
And that's the thing. That's a very good point, Cindy. Again, zero mention about Nancy's cane. Was it left or not? Exactly. supposedly nothing was taken with Nancy, but still didn't mention it whatsoever. We haven't heard anything about the cane at all.
Narrow down what time you might be offline. I know there was a report about a pacemaker dinging.
Did you see him look up
Yep,
when the
for
pacemaker?
pacemaker.
Like, don't answer that question.
Like around 2 o'clock in the morning. Is there any way to indicate to people, hey, look around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to help them identify what they might have?
You know, I really.
And by the way, whenever somebody touches their face like this, I can't wait till the behavior panel would blow this up. Whenever somebody does this and then covers their mouth, that's a sign of deception,
Yes.
by the way.
It is. They're not
Okay.
telling you.
He knows about the pacemaker and he's not going to answer the question, but I'm just going to back it up just for a second. Watch where his hand goes over his face. Whoops, sorry. I don't want to go too far.
Yeah, don't go too.
The medication played a critical role here. It's been 48 hours. She needs it
Did
every
I blow it? Did I
No,
mess
just
it?
let it go. Just
Okay,
we'll get.
I'll let
single
it.
day. Are you
But
looking
you guys
for
can
someone
watch it again.
that is still alive?
We hope we are. We hope we are.
Sheriff Banner, you said earlier that you don't believe there's a wider threat to the public. If you're not sure if it's targeted, why do you believe there's no wider threat to the public?
Well, we have crime in Tucson all the time, right? Like any city. And so there, when you say a threat to the public, is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case. We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
Sheriff, when you reference violence at the site, can you elaborate on that? And also, was there a sign of forced entry, any valuables taken, any bank
really
or ATM cards used after her disappearance?
We're not getting into that. What I tell you is, like any crime scene, we process this crime scene. We gathered all the evidence we could, to include looking for what? Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine. And we gathered that out. Those things have been submitted forward to labs, to technological companies to help us. And we're like you. We're waiting for those returns to come back.
Did you find DNA that did not belong in that house?
The window of time from when she was last seen to when she was reported missing, and I know you guys are asking for help from the public, is there any way to narrow down what time you might be offline? I know there was a report about a pacemaker dinging like around.
Okay, see, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. And he talks with his hands. Watch his hands go to his face and cover his mouth before he answers the question.
2 o'clock in the morning. Is there any way to indicate to people, hey, look around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. to help them identify what they might have?
You know, I
Did you say yes?
Yeah, he rubbed his nose.
Yeah. That is a sign of deception. He knows what the answer is, but he's not going to
really don't want to get into narrowing down the time, because narrowing it down means we could miss some tips and leads. We're working on with the data we've submitted for investigative analysis. We're working to see if that time can be tightened up. But for now, we're going with what we told you earlier. She was dropped off at 9:30 and she was found to be missing at about 11 o'clock Sunday morning.
Okay, so now that time has been confirmed twice in a press conference, 11 a.m.
Good point. And then all of a sudden it changed.
It did change rapidly.
Was DNA of anyone else found in the house?
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA, and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
Anybody strange in the neighborhood? I know you're looking at video, different surveillance camera, anything that we should be looking out, different cars.
And watch the FBI guy still, too. We can listen to him, but watch the Fed.
I have nothing in that regard.
And again, he's covering his mouth. After he says we have nothing in that regard, he covers his mouth.
Demands been made by kidnappers?
We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on.
Sheriff, we noticed that the camera on the front of the house is missing.
There's
Do you
Brian.
believe the perpetrator purposely took the camera?
Don't know that. We're looking into that as well.
It was one of the key pieces of information
Yeah.
that camera's.
You don't know. No, yeah, just he took the light because he needed it. I mean, come on, dude.
Gone.
Has that scene been fully processed now? We saw deputies leave around 6 o'clock last night. We didn't see tape go up.
These
Amazon
boots
driver
are
was
made
able to
for
walk right up to the
walking,
door.
and
Is that
that's
pretty
just what
standard
they'll
for how you
do.
handle this?
The scene is done. We're done with the residents. If we need to.
Look at the FBI guy.
Watch this.
He's going to eat these.
Look at that. We're done with the residents. Look at this. Look at this. I got to screenshot this one. I have got to screenshot this one right there. We're done with this, he says. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha, buddy.
Words
Look
one
at
day.
the Fed. Look at him.
Yes.
He's
He's
like,
like, are you kidding? We haven't even been in there.
Go back to get, maybe we want to do something with some other piece of evidence there. We contact the family and let them know. But we have turned that over to the family. I don't have the time, but it was sometime yesterday.
okay, so they turned the scene over right back to the family, okay, right away. And now they have to go back and get consent and all this other stuff. So when we hear that, the family gave them consent, no, not initially. They went at that house with a search warrant. Okay. Once they released the house, that's when the family gave them consent to potentially go back. Okay. But the house was under a search warrant, and he says it.
Did you cover any tire tracks or any footprints around the house?
No.
Was there any?
They didn't get any tire tracks. They went blah, blah, blah.
Could you please take us through?
Again, as he's covering his mouth, something's going to be uncomfortable for him.
The timeline that you
Or he knows that they didn't get the tire tracks or something to that effect. Look where his hands are.
have established of the events so far and with as much detail as you can.
9:45, 9:30, 9:45, we were told she was left at her home by the family. At 11 o'clock in the morning, the family got notice from somebody at church that she was not at church. They went to the home, found her to be missing. That's the timeline.
Okay, now, this is the third time he's locked it in, 11 a.m., okay, that they go to the house. Who's the family? Again, don't get it confused with Savannah. Savannah is not in this conversation that he's talking about. He's talking about the daughter and the son-in-law. That's who the family is in this
That's
conversation.
very important.
Don't make sure we understand that clearly.
The family
Okay.
is
So,
daughter,
because there can
son-in-law.
be
Because those are the two that's around.
cognitive
Nobody else
dissonance
is around.
that, oh, well, he's talking about Savannah. No, he's not. Okay. He's not talking about her.
From Saturday night, 9:45, we'll say, to Sunday morning, 11 o'clock.
Have you been?
That's the timeline. 9:45 in the evening till 11 a.m. in the morning.
Let me get somebody back here, please.
Have you interviewed the people that reported her missing, the people from the church?
That's the family. Oh, from the church as
The
well.
family.
We're doing all kinds of interviews. Yes, I'm sure we have.
Have you been able to access the footage?
He says, yes, I'm sure we have. That is not a
That's not a
definitive
definite
answer.
That's, yeah.
That's a guess.
From the cameras at the house?
Well, that's all been submitted, and we're doing our best with those companies who own those cameras or built those cameras.
Are there any plans to release those videos from the cameras, from the surveillance? Are there any plans to release the video from the cameras, surveillance footage?
We don't even have them yet, so no, not at this time.
Sheriff,
So that's for the
Sheriff, there's a
investigation.
report of a suspicious man.
Okay, so I just want to clarify this right here, what I mean by this. Okay. TNA equals family, S equals Savannah. Yes, exactly. When the sheriff is talking about the family here, remember he put them in two buckets. And if you're just joining us, you got to go back and listen earlier. We talked about this. So when he talks about who went over the house that morning, he's not talking about Savannah. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. And
1 second, y'all. We have a little clip that was just discovered from said press conference before this took place. 1 second. Breaking news of Sheriff No Nads up in his shorts with the FBI officer looking at him in quite shock, actually. Yes, so this was taken apparently during the time of Sheriff No Nads in his shorts before his dress rehearsal. So, yeah, there you go, people. Sheriff No Nads and the FBI investigator, you are certainly welcome. If I have to see it, so do you. So,
and that's why I needed to clarify that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you made it. It's clear. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
A
confusing.
few doors down last week. Is that anything that you guys are aware of?
I'm not aware of it. My detectives may be. There's a lot of detective work being done, and I just can't get into those weeds or even discuss with you what they may not have learned.
For
That's
AGS,
what- there are concerns at the house that concerned us from the early on part of this investigation, and that's all I will tell you. Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Is there any history with Nancy needing police at her place or concerns where she was worried about somebody following her or?
You know,
we're calling him Daisy.
Our investigative team has looked into all of those things, and that has not been brought to my attention. So she may have had something like that, but I'm not aware of it.
So nobody in Savannah's security team alerted him to any stalkers or anybody that was a problem or a red flag on Savannah's side of the coin. This is critical as well to understand.
It's a really good point you bring up because Nanos tells us early on day one, Savannah's security team got with Pima County sheriffs and they were already in communication. And this is a day or two later, right?
Correct.
And the question from the reporter is, did Savannah's security team share with you any red flags of somebody who was a stalker, threatening her, would make threats to her family? Okay. Anything overt? And Nanos just answered that no. No. Right?
Yes.
That was his answer.
That was his answer.
Okay. So then I think where you're going, if you layer over this, Savannah's question from her brother, hey Cameron, do you think that I could be at fault for this, for mom being missing?
Yeah.
And her brother telling her,
Yeah, baby.
well, sweetie, yeah, it could be. Is that where you were going?
That's exactly right.
It makes you think, you know?
It makes you think because the first question when the security team calls that you're going to talk to them about is, look, I know this is going to sound crazy, but does Savannah have any stalkers? Anybody who would want to do her harm?
That's,
and they're going to give
I mean, that's what you're naturally going to think, right? Like, because if there's someone high profile in your family, like that, and something like this happens, like you would think that they would, and they said that no, there's nobody that's like that we, Savannah doesn't have any stalkers or anything that we're aware of. But then the brother is coming and saying to Savannah, well, yeah, sweetie, this might be because of you and your status. I mean, which it always could be, but the two just aren't jiving down the same lane. It's not cooperating each other. Cozy Sunflower, thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Pearl family. Thank you for remaining my lap. Oh, welcome, Cozy Sunflower Mom, to the Pearl family. Really appreciate you, my friend. Good to see you. So then what I heard not true as what I heard about the pacemaker took it right till 5 a.m. for movement from time. I don't know what you mean by that. Yes, please hit that thumbs up button, guys, or double tap that screen. Savannah said Annie called her and said their mom was missing. She said they called 911 and that the police were at their home. Yes, and she also said, have you checked the hospitals or anything? And she's like, already did.
Give her a list. Give the sheriff a list. And the reason for that is that's their job as a security team around her. NBC has a security team around her.
Sure.
And that security team weighed in immediately of, hey, I need to tell you about a guy that hangs out or sends letters or does this or whatever. Okay. Now that would be an absolutely huge red flag for the FBI immediately to jump in.
It would be a huge lead for them to start working on.
That's exactly right.
Now, could Sheriff Nanos have been lying to the media? Absolutely. It's a possibility.
At this point, he's held back, but I would think something that big, he would have said no. And that's why he answered it with his hand.
Obviously
away
said
from
investigators
it.
when they got on scene they found suspicious circumstances. When the family called originally to report her missing, did they say anything about the state of the home?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Hold on. What? Wait.
a really-
What? I just heard.
To report her missing, did they say anything about the state of the home?
I don't know that.
What do you mean? You don't know if they said something about the state of the home? Well, Savannah said that they, that her sister and them said, the doors were back open, taken out in the night.
That I don't know.
Okay.
That's a really important point. Let's
Mhm.
review that. All right. Well, let me just,
Yeah.
if you couldn't hear, the reporter says
Hey, in the bushes.
when the family got there and reported her missing, were they concerned about the state of how the home was found
Mhm.
when they walked in and realized Nancy was missing? Right.
I mean, that would be like one of the number one things you would be concerned about, right? If your loved one was, you didn't get them on the telephone, right? And then you got there and you see that there is blood inside of the doorway, outside of the doorway, your loved one is not there, everything, they didn't take any of their belongings, and the back doors is propped open, one of the cameras is taken, and a light smashed. You may not notice every single one of those things immediately, but you're going to notice some of those immediately to set off a red flag. And you're going to say that, right? For instance, when you call 911, hi, yes, I just went to check on my mother. She is not here. The front door has blood on it. Their back doors are open. You're going to say that in the 911 call. But Sheriff No Nads doesn't know about that. Have you even heard the 911 call, sir? Have you even interviewed the family? Or are you just absolutely delusional? When you call 911, you give them the information that you know currently, right? You don't know where your mother-in-law or your mother is, but you do know that things are not right at the house. You know, doors open. You know, there's blood. You know that she's not capable of moving very far. So that's what you do say in a 911 call. The little bit that does seem odd, out of place, we need 911, we need police here right now. So, yep. Yep. And you say what you know, and he's like, well, we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the question.
Anything suspicious.
Anything suspicious. And he brushed it off and says no. Of course, he doesn't mention 2 doors were propped open with the flower pots.
Hey, Ann, absolutely. Yes.
Of course, he doesn't mention blood on the front porch, which, by the way, turned out to be Nancy's. Right? Camera off the front porch. The Nest camera with no subscription was taken. It was gone. He doesn't mention any of this.
Good question,
Fastball's coming
Passion.
at him.
Make sure I'm getting some different
And was it Annie or Tommaso?
people here. Yes, ma'am.
Probably Annie.
Yeah, so there was blood that was found inside the house and you're testing it for DNA.
He's brought now the press is going, hey, you haven't mentioned this, so we'll mention it for you. Again, the press introduces the blood. Okay.
Well, she's saying inside the house.
Well, she's talking about blood because by this point, the house has already been turned back to the.
But I think what Karen's trying to say right there is we didn't know that there was blood inside the house at that point. Most of us didn't.
Family and Brian Ensign
We just thought
walked
outside.
up to the porch.
How much blood and where was it?
I'm not saying there's blood inside that house or outside that house. What I'm saying is our team processed a scene like.
What the fuck do you mean, sir? We know that there's blood on the outside of the house. We have pictures. People walked right up to it, to the scene that you cleared, you doofus.
You would think of any crime scene. We go in and we process it. We look for things like that, blood, DNA, any kind of.
He set him up right there. She set him up to get hit in the head with a fastball.
Any kind of physical evidence.
Fortunately, he wears a helmet.
Fingerprints, anything. And all of that is gathered and submitted to a lab. That lab will report back to us what they find. So far, that what we found from that lab is nothing that would tell us this is who did this.
We'll take a couple more questions and then the sheriff's got to go.
And the PIO is like, oh, crap. He just got nailed with a fastball.
Yep.
This guy is nonsense in a wig. Like, he is full of absolute nonsense. No ham, no cheese, and no crackers. No, sir.
Done.
Can you walk through the evidence that was found at the scene in as much detail as possible?
No, I cannot.
What is the bottleneck to the surveillance footage? I know you said some of it is in the cloud, but you've also been reached out to tech companies that are saying they're cooperating. Why do you not have the surveillance footage on media?
That's what I tell them. How come I don't have this? Where's my evidence? It is a process, and I'm sorry, but you know, we're grateful that there's large corporations and companies who have bent over backwards to help us, to say, hey, Sheriff, tell us what you need. And so, yeah, I can't slam them. And we've asked them. They know the urgency here, but I'm like you. What do you?
Watch him. Look how animated he is. Look how animated he is. You done lost the plot, sir. You really did. The math is out smoking. I mean, seriously.
You mean I don't know that now? Yeah, it's
Follow
tough.
up on the answer that you gave earlier. You were asked if there was
Last question.
You were asked if there was any ransom, and you didn't say no. You said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in?
We're
Clown
following
behavior.
all leads we have.
Okay, this is the last one where now we have the second FBI guy from Phoenix who runs the entire state of Arizona.
Listen to this. I'm telling you, your ancestors are shaking their heads, sir.
This got so bad they had to bring the juice in, okay, to fix the sheriff.
Thumbs up.
Now, this is really important to catch. He's not talking to the public in the beginning of this press conference. He is talking to the family. That's important to understand.
Yes.
All right.
Listen to this.
Why? Because they have sent evidence off to labs.
Mm-hmm.
They have impounded cars. They have searched homes. They have downloaded phones, all this other stuff. And the family, I'll guarantee you, behind the scenes is going, why are you doing all of this? We're not involved.
Exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, I've seen sturdier alibis in a group chat than what this sheriff is giving.
And so he starts this presser off with
Ever.
this comment about and to the family. Do you have
Ever.
any, do you
No,
have any thoughts?
let's go off with it.
Okay.
They just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you.
You see, he's not talking to the public. He's talking to the family. They just hurt. And I want you to know, not the public, we're hurting with you. Now, why is this important?
Yeah, and why is he doing it?
It's
How is anybody cleared at this time? How is anybody cleared this time? And he, even after this press conference, he says nobody is cleared, not even the family. No Tater, no Tot, no.
an empathy play.
Mm-mm.
And he needs their cooperation, and he qualifies it later. Okay. He needs them to keep playing with the sheriff. Stay on my team. Okay. Because I've got your talking points. I've been out here doing what you have been asking us to do behind the scenes. It's my mother. She's not a walk away. All this other stuff. So what he's doing is strategically trying to keep them on the same team. Okay. So he started this whole press conference off by telling them who's watching, I'm trying to keep you here and I feel your pain. Okay. Now, why is that important? Because something else is happening around the corner here. I can't put my finger on it yet.
I can.
But you usually don't start off a press conference with, I need to let the family know I understand you're hurting.
That's a given. Of course they're hurting. Their family, their 84-year-old mother was taken out at night.
Okay, so let's talk about the case and the suspect. No, you start a press conference off this far in. I have the FBI here behind me. The reason we're here today is to talk about the progress we're making with this investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But he's inserted the family at the very beginning of this press conference.
Bingo.
And there's a reason for it. I'm going to back it up one more time because you have to hear it. It's a good, it's a quick transition into the next one.
You know, we're grateful that there's large corporations and companies who have bent over backwards to help us, to say, hey, Sheriff, tell us what you need. And so, yeah, I can't slam them. And we've asked them. They know the urgency here, but I'm like you. What do you mean I don't know that now? Yeah, it's
The answer that you gave earlier, you were asked if there was
Last question.
You were asked if there was any ransom, and you didn't say no. You said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in?
We're following all leads we have. Saw last night the family. You know, they just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you.
Chris, let's try to get the volume up a little bit.
You can't. That's on their
max?
side.
Okay.
Just want mom back. Okay. Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there.
Okay, you guys, could they not hear that?
No, it was very low.
All right, let me, I'll try to get it back here for a second. I'm sorry, guys.
Just go back a tiny
Let me
bit.
try to get it
That's
back.
good. Stop. No, no,
Whoop.
no, no.
I know I can't.
No
It's-
pearls,
go
it's
no
with-
really
pumps.
sensitive.
Right there. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
That should work. 20.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, we're grateful that there's large corporations and companies who have bent over backwards to help us, to say, hey, Sheriff, tell us what you need. And so, yeah, I can't slam them. And we've asked them, they know the urgency here, but I'm like you. What do you mean I don't know that now? Yeah,
He's
it's
such a
tough.
con.
Follow up on the answer that you gave earlier. You were asked if there was
Last
any,
question.
You were asked if there was any ransom, and you didn't say no. You said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in?
We're following all leads we have.
Saw last night the family,
Listen to this.
you know, they just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you.
Stop.
We really.
I really want you to know that me and my team here and our community are hurting with you.
Right.
That's to the family. That's that one sentence Chris is saying is directed at the family at the start of this press conference, which is highly unusual. And Chris is alluding to that there's a strategic reason why the sheriff did that. And I think we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, there's a reason for it because they have impounded, in my opinion, I've always.
Chris is going to kind of talk about it. You know, in my opinion, what they're saying is, you know, our hearts and everything is with you, but we're still impounding your car and keeping it as evidence, allegedly. Right?
Felt that
he needs them on the team in the very beginning because you want them to not be angry at you. You want them to be cooperative people in the family.
The fact that they impounded the cars, not Nancy's car, that's a given. Okay. But even then, if she's a walk away, why are you impounding her car?
Exactly. If Nancy's a walk away, if she was dropped off at 9:45, and you went home and went to bed and hadn't, you know, why are you impounding family's car and keeping it longer than anybody?
We'll just leave it at that. Okay. And then the second one is, why are you impounding the daughter's car? Now you can argue, well, that's the car that she was dropped off at the house at. Okay, fine. That takes about 2 days to process and you return it. You don't hold it or send it to a shop to put it back together 43 days later.
Yeah.
Okay, or whatever the timing was. It was a long time. So what he's saying here is, look, I'm talking to you directly because you don't understand what's going on, maybe. Or he's suspicious of something. And he's trying to make sure that he keeps them on the table and keeps the lawyers out.
Bingo.
Just want mom back. Okay. Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the sheriff's department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do.
Stop. This always rubbed me the wrong way as a journalist. He says, sheriff says, we just want to, quote, get to the bottom of this. It's typically not a message delivered in a potential homicide, missing persons case, high profile. Usually the message that the chief law enforcement person or representative is saying is, If you have her,
Hey, Claude.
whoever has her, and then it's like
Thank
tough
you.
talk, right?
Yes, it's stern talk, it's tough talk, it's not look like you're going to flog the cameraman.
We're going to come after you. We're going to hunt you down. We're
Yes.
going to
You can give her up now and make sure she's safe, drop her off anywhere. We will find you. That's that, right? Not, we just want to get to the bottom of it.
find you, and we're going to bring you to justice. That is typically what you hear. You don't typically hear, oh, well, we're going to get to the bottom of this. No, there's no sense of urgency in that. There's no deliberate force. We're not messing around, right? Which is what you typically see. So when he said that, I tell Chris all the time, as a journalist, it's not what I want to hear covering this case. Your thoughts?
I think this is a softball. He's playing softball. The FBI is going to play softball.
Yep.
You do not tell the public to a career criminal who broke into the house, took an 84-year-old woman out of the.
You don't, a career criminal that does this every day. We're going to get to the bottom of it, right? Career criminals, hard criminals, you've got to be stern with. You've got to know, let them know, we're the ones in charge. You did this, now we're coming after you, mofo.
That house. Let's just get to the bottom of this. We want her home. Okay? Because that guy, let's just play cartel for a moment. Okay? Look at this clown. Okay? What about you? What about you? Okay? Oh, yada, yada.
Cutes.
Okay?
Cute name.
Or a 3-striker, a guy who's been in prison for all their life. Okay? And he's out on parole and he decides to steal Mrs. Guthrie. Okay? He's not talking to a hardened criminal. He's talking to somebody who is soft.
Yep.
And he thinks.
Well, and think about this. Regardless, whoever Nanos is talking to, right? If there is, this is someone that knows Nancy, right? And to be mad at someone, you first have to have cared, right? You have to care to be mad at someone, whether you say you do or you don't. You had to first care. And this is someone in Nancy's life, most likely, that cared at some point, right? But Nanos is talking softball here, like Chris is saying, which can want to harbor up the feeling of them finding their better angels, if you will, or making them that and making them not want to go to an attorney and clam up as well.
He has a conscience. The BAU has scripted some of this conversation. You're going to hear it when the FBI guy gets up. And listen how he talks to the suspect.
But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. Well, I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley.
Now, what he did there was just stuck a hot poker in the FBI's eyes. Because what he said...
What are you saying right there?
Not local, that's our... I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley.
Now, what he did there was just stuck a hot poker in the FBI's eyes. Because what he said is, I have another investigative team. I've called them in, and that's a task force. Basically, what happens in Arizona, there's a team up in the near Sholo.
Now, why do you need a team up in Sholo when you have the FBI standing right behind you, the full federal in weight of law enforcement? Why? You have them right behind you. They have the best tech possible, the best labs possible, because you have a chip on your shoulder.
Near all those towns up north, okay? It's called MCAT, okay? They have this other acronym for it down in the valley. And what it is, it's individual officers assigned to this team. In a critical incident, they all are called out together to help assist, okay? All he has to do is look over his right shoulder and say to these guys, I need 200 agents.
I didn't know what Chris was going to say here because I haven't seen this part, but he's absolutely same
But
page.
he didn't do that.
Same page, Chris.
He's telling them, I don't really need you guys because I've got my own guys. That's what he just did.
Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department.
And he's
Oro
naming
Valley
them.
Police Department.
Yeah, of course.
This
he
is so irrelevant.
And look at the agent. Look
Nobody
at the
gives
FE.
a rip. Yeah, the guy on the other guy.
The guy
is like,
who works
what?
with him all the time. See that
Yeah.
guy? He's staring at him like, okay, I see what you're doing. And remember, I talked about this early on, guys, about tit for tat. Okay. Who released the pictures of the guys on the porch? Cash Patel. Okay?
Not Pima County.
That guy on the right in the blue jacket, he checkmated him. He gave him a checkmate.
Yep.
Okay. By giving the pictures to Cash. And who released those photographs? It was the FBI.
Is it? Yeah.
It wasn't Pima County Sheriff's Department.
And that's another chippy chip on Sheriff Doofy's shoulder.
Okay. And then what did Pima County Sheriff's Department?
The sheriff won't even say whether there's blood on the outside of the door, which we know. He's like the freaking Cookie Monster. Only for me. Only for me. Num, 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 num. No offense, Claudia. I know you just make cookies. But he's like the Cookie Monster, right? He doesn't want to give anything out that could even help people know something. It's like weird.
I hate saying this, but it's reality. Okay. What did the Pima County Sheriff's, and by the way, it is Nanos' fault for this. Those two guys in the background want to find Nancy Guthrie, as does the sheriff. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Okay. But this guy.
The sheriff wants to find Nancy, but the problem is his ego and his chip on his shoulder has gotten in the way, and he is over his head.
He's more concerned with poking them in the eyes.
Yes.
Than working together.
More personal.
This is just
for
more
him.
documentation of how unprofessional Nanos is. Has nothing to do with the investigation. It's ego. It's ridiculous. But side note, adjacent story is the recall effort with Nanos. And now the Board of Supervisors sent him a list of questions. And Nanos has less than 2 weeks to either put it in writing or go in front of the Board of Soups and answer their questions. And it's all about leadership and lack thereof. So this is just the games that this guy plays.
He's way over.
We're pointing it out, but I do want to actually stick more to what we're focused on.
But
for
it's
this
important
program.
because that guy, that agent to the left, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
It's just Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department, there's so many of them. And
Because he's disappointed because he has to work with this agency on other cases. And look at him, he's biting his lip almost. He just wants to say something, but he can't. And he knows it.
are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still. And we're hoping that, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this
Meanwhile, I didn't tell him about the DNA.
thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex.
Now, you see, at the conclusion of all of that, he has to turn and play the game like the FBI's with us. We're all working. And how does he finish it? It's important everybody knows their role.
Mm-mm. And he does look like he can scream, and because it makes, even though it's not the FBI's part, it's not the FBI's fault, they know that they can do more, but they can't do more if Nanos is the lead. They cannot, FBI cannot be the lead if he is the lead. It's just not the way it works in law enforcement. There is only one lead. And if Sheriff Nanos doesn't say, here we go, you're the lead now, that's the way it is in law enforcement, and it will never change. So either Nanos has to say, here you go, you take lead. I'll put my pride aside so we can find Nancy, because you have you're the feds, and you have everything that you need. So I'll step back and take this chip off my shoulder.
I.e., stay out of our way.
Investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA.
Per Google, the word nano originates from the Greek word nanos, or nanos, meaning dwarf or little old man. Screenshot. That's brilliant, Tucson. Thank you.
We rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back.
Watch the FBI guy.
You see the FBI guy?
He's like, well, it wasn't with.
I swear to you, I have not seen this part that Chris is talking about. We are literally just saying the same things. Did you see the FBI guy's face? Watch it. Just rewind this just a second. Watch the FBI guy, because they could have given that to the FBI and they could have turned that over in 24 hours. You're talking the FBI and the Secret Service, they don't get better than that. They are literally not the country's best, the world's best. They have technology that nobody else has, that you and I don't even know about. Watch this. Watch FBI.
Quickly, for example, some DNA. We rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. There was.
You see the FBI guy?
He's like, well, it wasn't with it wasn't at
with
FBI lab.
Oh, they could have handled it in 5 minutes.
Blood on the porch. That was one we did.
It's so
came
bad.
Back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted.
So there's more items, plural, that have been submitted.
We just haven't got them back yet.
Give it
In
to
the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing.
The FBI asked, can we go see it as well?
And it wasn't Saturday night, it was Sunday night.
And-
So he got that wrong.
Yet this guy is cooperating with the feds for Nancy Guthrie's return. No way.
Okay, guys,
It is
I am
very-
going to leave it here. I've been live almost 4 hours. I'm going to end it right here. We will look at some more of this tomorrow. Probably, I've got some more stuff that I've got to cover tomorrow as well. I'll be covering Jack and Lily Sullivan as well tomorrow. LOL, the silent FBI is telling, isn't it? Really is 2-speed. It really is. Thank you, Miss Shannon. Really do appreciate our friend Chris and Karen from the interview room. They really brought some interesting points here. Thank you, Miss Grace. Brought some very, very interesting points. And on the same page. There's it feels like there's a lot of things that are just being overlooked, almost intentionally, in my opinion, and a lot of things done in the very beginning that was handled very grossly. Thank you, Little Black Bear. Thank you, Tina, Ash, Shannon, Diana, 2-Speed, Texas, Wendy, Yvette, hey darling, Miss Sherry, Kimchi, Barbara, Linda, Robin, Grace, Shannon, everyone, Tammy, good to see you all. Texas, thank you, Debbie. Second to no one, Bonnie, Linda, everyone. Much love, everyone. Make sure you're subbed up to my Justin for All channel. May go live over there in a little bit. Might hang out with Remy or something. So make sure you want to come out and hang out with me over there. It might be live just a little bit over there. So 4 hours. Yeah, almost 4 hours I've been here. It's crazy. I know it goes back quick. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Justice for Nancy. God, I hope, please, Lord, that something breaks soon. Nearly 70 days. It's crazy. Yes, best YouTube family. Oh, thank you, River Queen. Love you, darling. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. God bless you. Justice for Nancy. Good night.